The scammers online spreading their lies, pumping stocks with dollar signs in their eyes. But we see through the noise, cut through the mold, calling out fraudsters. Truth be told, hey, expose the lies, let the story unfold. Truth be told, yeah, shining the light on the tricks they sold. No hype, no spin, we bring the facts, let the truth roll in. Fraudsters beware, your game's getting old. We're taking it back when truth be told. Truth be told. Truth be told. And the truth shall set you free.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Truth Be Told. Amy's out tonight, but we've got Platinum and a guest. How are you doing, Ocelot? Been a while since you've been on the show.
Doing pretty well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, no problem. So our big theme tonight is beyond stupidity. I think that should lead us to one particular item, but that's not actually where we're going to start. We're going to save that at the end. We have two characters, as they were, and I think I've shown Ocelot the video. I haven't shown it to you yet, Platinum. That explains perfectly the mindset of these kinds of people. So if you're an old school YouTube person, you might get this joke, but I thought it's funny, so we're gonna roll with it.
Wow, Piccolo's pulling a your dad. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! Oh yeah, see?
And now we have this.
You, Namekian, too strong! Explain now!
He fused with Kami so he could become stronger.
The f***'s a commie? Basically God. But I'm still here!
Do you really believe your own hype that much?
I am the hype!
So, starting things off.
That was your
tonight.
lead into this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Look, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong that's the exact mindset to have about this situation. So recently we had PJ. We mentioned last week he was kind of spurging out on X about the fact that things didn't go their way in the appellate court. But we had a very new update from Ocelot. Glad you were on here for this. Do you have the actual document to screen share? Because it's a little trickier to do the pop-ups. I don't think anyone can actually read that.
I don't think I do. I just screenshotted it because it didn't upload to Court Listener, and usually I just link the Court Listener link, but for whatever reason that didn't work. So I just screenshotted all of the relevant parts.
We found out later that link was actually no worky because I went and tried it before the show and we were talking about it. But yeah, they went and pulled it down because
exclusive linky here.
I know, right? Go to if you want.
You can only find it on Ocelot's page.
I know, right? You got the scoop, my man. How's that feel? But anyway, so you've read it, correct?
I skimmed it. I didn't read the entire thing. Well, Platinum actually read a lot of it while I was driving.
I was out loud
and filled me in.
Yeah, so, I mean, it didn't sound awful, right? Like, so,
right.
Well, the cases exist
based on our normal standards.
Yeah, so that's a positive already. When it comes to, like, if you have AI helping you or something, you make sure the cases are actually real. And they are real. And I mean, I don't know. I felt like it wasn't a terrible argument, other than the fact that, like, you can't even make an argument while you still have counsel, I guess. And he's
correct.
Still so other than that, which I think that might be the reason why it was taken down.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason.
They're like,
yeah, the court even said, I don't know if I have it screenshotted there. If you go down on the thread, I might have that link too. But the court in the text entry said that they weren't going to consider it because it was submitted without counsel.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that, and I had said this to Florida Man, that I thought that was a deliberate tactic by his legal counsel because I don't know if these are the same lawyers as they are in the lower court, in the district court, but imagine as a district court lawyer, you're having to defend you and the other group potentially, and he's going off on his own, trying to do this solo stuff, potentially making arguments that are going to make it harder for you to defend him in district court. But you also have an obligation that if he wants to do this, I mean, so there was probably some conflict. Okay, well, this case at the appellate level is over. They basically marked time and then said, okay, we're withdrawing. And he filed, even though the withdrawal had not been approved yet, which basically let him feel like he was getting his say in, but also denying him because like he filed it on the deadline date, the exact set. They had 7 days to file if they were going to
14, I think. I looked at the appellate rules. I think it's 14.
So right on the deadline day for en banc review. And I think, now I could be wrong, but my opinion is it was probably just a teensy bit intentional to save them a lot of legal hassle, because let's be honest here, he's asking for a rehearing en banc, which if you're not familiar with the Latin, en banc means the bench, the entire panel of the entire Fifth Circuit, all the judges in the Fifth Circuit. That's what en banc means. So that's what he's asking for. And a motion for rehearing is the same as a motion for a re-argument. Those are not granted very often. You need to actually have either new precedent, compelling evidence, or evidence that was not heard before, or actual proof that a judge didn't, read the, your arguments correctly. And there's a lot of deference given to the judge's opinion because, opinions like that are generally on deference. So you have to really prove that the judge just so misinterpreted the law that, and it's why most lawyers don't go for this. But a lot of pro se litigants go for it because they think it's an extra mulligan. They get an extra shot, an extra bite at the apple. But the standard has been put so high to avoid exactly that thing. So I don't think he's getting anywhere with that, even if he was granted the chance to go for the rehearing en banc. I know you guys read more of the opinions if you had like an actual opinion on the filing to go over, or any
like on his filing that he filed.
Yeah.
I mean, does it even matter? You know what I mean?
Not really. I mean, he basically is echoing the same arguments that they already made at the that his lawyers already made, more or less, right?
Yeah, kind of. Like he did, a little bit.
He's talking a lot about the materiality, though. And that's what he really seems to be focused on in this filing.
Yeah, and about how he's not like an insider or an executive,
which is irrelevant.
Right. And like how what he said shouldn't really matter as much, blah, 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 basically. But like, honestly, it doesn't really matter, right? Because they're not even going to read it until that other thing gets approved anyways.
Right.
And then once
which
they do
they may grant him, like,
deny it.
Like, your intention was to file it here, but you didn't have counsel, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But,
I mean, A for effort, but
yeah, not
it's
likely
going nowhere.
Not likely to get much of anything on that. Which takes us to, we could handle that pretty quickly, but it takes us to our next thing, which is one that sadly Amy will not be here for. But I know Platinum is very well apprised of Mr. Fish Sticks and our beef with James.
Yeah, I know of him only because of you and Amy. And because every time you paused his video, it was like a terrible.
He looked like he had a fish mouth. It was great.
Yeah, it was like just the worst.
But I know Ocelot is new to the James Fish Sticks. We call him Fish Sticks here because children like fish sticks, and he has about the IQ of a child. So, but had you heard anything about him leading into this, or you just?
No, I just saw that his ETF got delisted.
Yeah, and he was trying to claim that the reason it got delisted was because he was intentionally keeping out of his ETF countries that, had H-1B visas or had a lot of their workers were on H-1Bs as a matter of a policy conflict thing, and that he was advocating for changes to the H-1B visas. Sir, the lie detector proved that was a lie because of his 2 ETFs. He has his own like 500 stocks that's supposed to be like the S&P 500, except I guess he picks the 500 companies or something like that. And the other one was a leveraged Tesla ETF. And I don't know if you've seen Tesla, but I can guarantee there's probably a lot of H-1B visa employees at Tesla. I don't know, just my opinion.
When an ETF gets delisted, what happens to all the investors? You have to like sell before it gets delisted, or
you can do that. You can sell before it gets delisted, or basically it's like a liquidation. They're going to sell all the assets in the ETF and distribute them to shareholders.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah. So it'd be the same way if a company decided to fold up shop and liquidate outside of bankruptcy or even in bankruptcy. They're going to do their roll up, and whatever assets are left are distributed to shareholders.
Oh, wow.
At least with an ETF, it's all liquid assets. So it's not like you're not going to get a recovery like in bankruptcy. It's just probably not the same value as the shares. Although you could do probably some calculations on its NAV and see if there is a discount between the NAV, the actual value of the assets, and the actual share price. But now that they've announced that they're liquidating, I bet that arbitrage, if it existed, has been rapidly closed.
Right. Yeah.
That's just how the efficient markets work. I'm not a big efficient markets theory fan, but usually on things like that, it closes pretty quickly. But
so 2 different ETFs.
Yes, there were 2. Like I said, the Azora 500, and then his Azora
and the Tesla
Convexity. I don't even know what that is, ETF. So those were the 2 ETFs that were closed up. While he was trying to say stuff like that, Amy did some deep dive research. She did this thing that's really crazy. It's you go to SEC.gov, and then you go look up the particular thing in question, and then wow. So what was the reason given for all of this? Let's see here. After considering relevant information, including without limitation, recent litigation involving a principal sub-advisor of Azora Capital LLC, the Board of Trustees of Title III determined that it is in the best interest of each fund and its shareholders to liquidate and terminate each fund as described below. And that's where they get into how they're going to liquidate everything. But at litigation, Platinum, you've been around here with the James Fishstick story. What litigation could they possibly be talking about?
I don't remember. I have no idea.
Well, what about the litigation where he basically admitted to stealing proprietary data from his former employer and lied about his credentials when working at former employer, and also had a promissory note that he defaulted on in the order of a six-figure sum. So they were looking at all that litigation dealing with him and decided, a dishonest person running our ETFs sounds like a bad thing. So,
yeah, but look at this. Let me show you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
I was going to ask how the performance was. It's not bad.
So this was when they announced it was right here. Went a little bit down, but then a little bit back up.
Right back to where it was, basically.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So it's not been an underperforming ETF, which is, I think, one of the arguments he made. They're cutting me, and it's a fairly well performing ETF, but like, don't be a fraud. How about that?
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. I was surprised at some of the people that willingly came to his defense, like Joseph Wang. I don't know any of you guys are familiar with him. More by the day that I learn about him, the more I realize there's probably a reason why he's a former Fed guy, not a current Fed guy. And then, of course, obviously, the people that are politically aligned with the whole H-1B thing and suggesting policy changes are going to come to his defense regardless of the facts of the situation. But pretty much everyone else has had a good laugh at his expense on the FinTwits because it's pretty well known that he's kind of a financial grifter. And of course, it comes with what happens anytime you call out a financial grifter for what they are.
Block.
Immediate block. So yeah, that's pretty much the fish sticks story.
Here, let me just share the other one just to be complete.
Yes, to give the complete story.
There's the other one. This is a Tesla one. So yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised that the Tesla one's the one that's underperforming compared to the other. That's a bit.
Well, it probably has to do with options. I'm just guessing because of the word convexity in the name.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with convexity. I'm not an option.
Yeah, it has something to do with the mathematics and the curvature. I don't know much beyond that. I'm not smart.
I can't say I'm not an options degen. I've been swinging those cash secured puts on Intel pretty hard because there's money to steal there right now. But yeah, our next stop is an interesting one. As we mentioned before, Bed Bath & Beyond. Wrong Beyond. I got something else on the mind. How about Beyond
Bed Bath & Beyond Meat?
They're merging, guys.
Exactly. The merger. Ryan Cohen's behind it.
But Beyond Meat.
We're doing DD.
We are doing super DD here.
Yeah.
So we've already known that Beyond Meat has been a meme stock for a very long time, but now it's reached super levels of meme stock level because now it's extra garbo bad. So at the beginning of this week, they announced that they were doing a convertible offering. So for their convertible notes due 2027, and this was agreed to by 96.9% of the outstanding note holders, they are going to convert them into 7% convertible notes due 2023 and issuing 316 million new
2023?
shares.
Are you sure 2023?
2030, excuse me.
Okay.
2030.
Oh,
I'm getting really bad with numbers. This is a bad sign for the rest of this evening. 2030. Yeah, no, we're going back in time to convert these notes. I wish I could drop 2 years off my life and get 2 years younger, but apparently, no, not working like that. 2030 convertible notes at a 7% coupon, and of that 1.11 billion, 208.7 million is going to be the new notes, and then the rest is being converted into 316 million new shares. Ouch if you're an equity holder, at least.
yeah, but they did extinguish some debt.
Right, they're still insolvent though, unfortunately. Well, I mean, it could be less because we haven't gotten an update on a new prospectus on that or new earnings information. So it could be a better situation, but let me check what their debt was. So they extinguished 1.1 billion and changed it into, what was it again? 208. So maybe we can do some rough math here and try and figure out where their debt is like and what their balance sheet might look like after that.
They extinguished over $800 million of debt.
Yeah.
Sad, because they've always been a shitco, like ever since they basically came on the market.
Yeah, because they leveraged up on debt and went like, we're going to be a hyper growth tech company basically. And okay, so this is going to be probably a long-term debt where it's going to be under, right? But
they really are the best vegan burgers that you can buy.
Okay, so they got rid of most
sausages.
of their.
They're so good.
So it looks like they got rid of most of their long-term debt. which would fix their insolvency problem and bring them back solvent by about 200 million would be the new shareholder equity as opposed to negative 600. So makes things better, kicks the
It's an
can down the
improvement.
road at least.
Not good for share price.
No, definitely
Yeah.
not. No. It was an AMC situation, to be sure.
What are they?
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
Uh-huh.
Do they make money from operations or no?
No. Let's go look at that though. Quarterly. Last quarter, they lost 30 million.
Aw.
And it looks like it's kind of cyclical here. So like
That's weird.
Their worst quarters are March and December. So Q1 and Q4. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, maybe because of summer burgers or something?
Maybe, yeah, that makes sense. That would make sense. There you go.
Grilling the burgers.
Grilling the burgers. Now, naturally, because of that, obviously all the meme stock vultures have there was I knew that X Market News was obsessed with GNS. There was at least a tweet every day from this account on this. The first being, "Oh my God, we could squeeze Ken Griffin," even though to date, I'm pretty sure Ken Griffin has nothing to fucking do with this stock. It collapsed down to 50 cents was the low. I also have had fun swinging at them because one of their big stupid things was they made this post. What is it with baggies and thinking that IBKR is the only place you can get shares short from? Because they look at the data and it says in the bottom in a footnote that this is only IBKR. It is only international brokers.
They should look at Schwab because Schwab always has shares available to short for all the companies.
I apparently need to move my fund money account over there. That's clearly what needs to happen.
And actually, if they want to be all excited about 0 shares to short, they should look at Fidelity because they never have shares to short for anything.
It depends, but yeah, usually on the illiquid stuff, I've tried to short Mullins so many times from Fidelity.
Yes, same.
Failure.
Every time.
Failure.
No. Yeah.
You guys don't have an F3 button?
No, too far.
Haven't been able to get that yet. Surprisingly enough, considering all the favors that Dougie owes me, I've not gotten the F3 button.
Oh, hi.
Mine just got delivered in the mail.
Oh, you got your F3? Did you get 2? 1 for each hand?
Yeah.
No, just one, unfortunately.
I was gonna say you could maybe share one with us, but
yeah, we need one.
So yeah, we also got apparently someone on Reddit claiming that they have scooped up 1/20th of the float. I'm skeptical on several levels.
Trust in bro.
Trust. It was trust me, bro. Level energy.
I trust in bro. Justin.
I will find that this is also pretty funny too. Was they're like, oh my goodness, will Beyond Meat squeeze Kevin Griffin? It's 15 cents off the low. And just for reference, here's this from the beginning of the week.
Sad.
It was up at
$2. It can only go up from here though, right?
It can only go up from here. Famous last words. It can only go up from here, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But that let me see if there was anything else it's mostly just a bunch of then the new news came out right before the show. Apparently the Beyond Meat subreddit got shit canned. I don't know why, or if that's even true, or if there was even one to begin with. I find it hilarious that they immediately, the things that they go to is it must be that they're out to get retail. Got to get the conspiracy theories going. And then, of course, the guy who's made the post saying that he had, oh, I didn't mean to kill the screen share. I meant to switch between things. Apparently the guy who claimed that he bought in big into Beyond Meat, apparently also his Reddit account got banned.
Oh, weird. That's weird.
So I don't know what's going on there. Naturally, though, because of who's involved, it's a conspiracy.
Wait, can you go back? Did you close that out already?
Nope.
Account age 55 years. How's that? Oh yeah,
that. I don't know what that's, if they got an actual screenshot or if they just, it's one of those fake generator things and they use that to create this. Because there's no way that you could have an account age of 55 years.
Right.
Like what it is. Not been around since the 70s. Just it's longer than the internet. As we know it, at least. But that's it for our lead-in topics. We can move into a few things before we get to our baggy stock market, meme stock stuff. Where do I want to start at? Oh yeah. So just a curious question. What do you guys all think about price fixing? Because
I don't know when it's worked.
Yeah, I know, right? The only thing that's worked from this so far is the memes that have come out of it. Because man, oh man, the most fire thing that I think I've seen is all of the Trump is a communist memes that have come out of this. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure I got my favorite one that I saw. Right? Yeah.
What is this?
There we
what does
go.
that mean? We'll set price floors on industries. What does that mean?
That means that they're going to price fix. They're going to basically opposite of, having a cap price. They're going to put a floor that the price can't fall below. So you have to pay whatever price they set.
For what though? Like for products, for services?
Yeah.
Like for what?
Yeah, for all sorts of services. They weren't very super specific. About rare earth metals, it looks like, and a bunch of stuff, trying to basically price China out of the market. So if you sell Chinese goods, like these rare earth metals, they're going to put a price floor on it. So if they're selling it at this price, they're going to push it up so it's at the same price with U.S. goods. So it's basically another way to rebrand tariffs, really.
And they don't want Chinese products to undercut American. That's probably what he's trying to do.
I see. Okay.
Well, I mean, it seems logical that this is the way that they're trying to go about it, because I don't know if you saw this clip where the attempt to rebrand tariffs continues.
Are the president's tariffs, not taxes on imported goods?
Well, that's easy, because tariffs are a surcharge, not a tax. They could be
Same thing.
So much mental gymnastics on display.
I know, right? It's a tax. Anytime the government takes revenues and increases the price of something, we have a word for that. It's called a tax.
It's called a surcharge, okay?
Oh my goodness. It's been like this with the tariffs all this week. Because I mean, when you look at data like this, it's kind of hard. So this line is the domestic and imported trend if things continued as they were. The red line is import. The black line is domestic.
Yeah, great job.
And wow.
That's like it's like in line with everyone's like credit card debt and student loan debt and auto loans that can't be paid. Weird how that happened, but okay.
However, if you were looking to trade on the tariff news, we have a playbook that has been established on the taco trade.
Buy the dip when he announces something annoying because he's just going to take it back 2 days later? Is that what it is?
Well, here it is. Step 1. Trump puts out a cryptic post on tariffs coming for a specific country or sector or market, causing the market to drift lower. 2. Trump announces a large tariff rate. 3, dip buyers step in, but the head fake rally leads to fresh lows. After the market closes on Friday, President Trump will double down on new tariffs to apply pressure. On Saturday, the target of the new tariff typically responds or comments. By Sunday, on futures open, Amy looks different today. I wonder which one thinks is Amy.
Well, I think he knows who I am.
Oh, there you go.
Amy's a cat.
Yes. Futures open sharply higher on Sunday after they basically backtrack. And after Monday open, Secretary Bessent will come out and reassure investors that things are fine. And over the next 2 to 4 weeks, various members of the administration will tease a trade deal. And step 10 is they announce some sort of deal that never really actually is consummated. But the tariffs are never consummated either. So stocks move back up to record highs. And then you just repeat back up to step 1.
Indeed. Yep.
Yeah. So the weird thing about this is we obviously know where the source of the trade tension's on. I'm not one to always agree or ever really agree with China, but I think the obvious source of the trade tensions right now is the Trump administration. Especially when the weird thing is after all this has happened, things have been said to basically double down and re-up the tensions that have been going on with the tariffs. Also, if you're looking for more trades, like what was that one? The lithium company,
LAC.
American, yeah. LAC. Well, if you're looking for more trades like that, Secretary Bessent says more on the way.
So ask ChatGPT.
Ask ChatGPT to predict which
shitcoin
mining company that the Trump
the U.S. wants to take more stakes in strategic companies to counter China. Give me some examples of stocks, and then look up those stocks. There you go.
They can't have revenues and they can't have earnings, as we learned from
give me the
LAC.
shitcoins.
Can you believe that, Ocelot? The idea that our president is basically trades like Wall Street bets or is a meme stock trader?
He had a shitcoin.
It's really, Platinum's right. The expectations are pretty low given he had his own shitcoin, but it really is unbelievable. Right. Everything out of this administration's really, my expectations going into it were pretty low. I think I've been pretty clear that I'm certainly not a Trump guy. So my expectations were low, but this has really exceeded it in a bad way, in every single possible way.
Yep.
Yeah. One last thing on that before we divert into other things in the mainstream subject section. This I just thought was funny because nothing says a strong alpha male like this administration likes to project, like someone who goes into an interview, gets asked a tough question, and then immediately fucking bails.
Hi, Dr. Navarro. Thank you very much. This is Sarah Williamson, the CEO of FCLT Global. And I think we'd all probably agree that innovation has been the driver of economic growth in this country for many decades. And the administration is now cutting and redirecting funding for scientific research, which has been the catalyst for this innovation, and is also in some cases dissuading scientists from coming to the United States. And meanwhile, China is investing heavily in innovation. So how does this align with the goals of driving the U.S. economy forward?
Look, I'll be honest. When I hear that, it just sounds like an op-ed from industry. I get it. But there's much bigger issues involved in the way universities over the last decades have used and sometimes abused government funding. And that all needs to be sorted out. As a former academic for 25 years at the University of California, now professor emeritus, I can tell you that our universities and college systems are in deep, deep trouble. They need the same kind of restructuring our trade system has undergone. They've essentially lost their way. They have no idea how to employ the people that they take tuition from. And so I think that all needs to be thought through. But again, that's not my lane. And it's been a real great pleasure to be with you today. I hope you will take my my opening remarks in particular to heart. I would just ask you this question in my closing here. It's like, why did it take some obscure academic from Laguna Beach, California, beginning back in 2006 to write 3 books about China, 2 on the economy, 1 about their military buildup, that were widely panned as hyperbolic at the time, but now read exactly like a Pentagon report? Okay, why was it somebody out there doing that instead of somebody at the Council on Foreign Relations? And I think that you all need to think about what we talked about today and maybe step back and assess rather than knee-jerk defend what has been the status quo that President Trump is now turning on its end. Just kind of think through what's going on here. If you just give me that, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah,
okay.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. Dr. Navarro has a hard
stop,
but
I gotta scoot.
Thank you so much for joining today's.
Anyway. Fine here. Sorry, I have most of this stuff on like sleep mode so it doesn't drive my RAM insane. Have you guys had 40 tabs open on your computer before?
Oh, at least. Literally every time. You need a NVIDIA GPU, I already told you that.
Yeah. So it's like I got to wake it up to see where things are on here.
Do you have an
I feel like I need to start taking notes too. I follow so many of these crazy stocks and all these cases that I really need a notepad or
you're
something.
Gonna find out that we're gonna end up with a list of what other stocks do you like by the end of the show usually. So we've got yet another Chamath SPAC, and the list of people that are on the board of directors or an executive office is quite a who's who going on here. I see Donald Trump Jr., there's Chamath, Laura Ingraham. Any other names here that anyone else recognizes? I just figure I'd pick off the easy ones. Anyone want to buy some consonants or some vowels on this executive board? Andrew Nasser, that sounds familiar for some reason.
I don't recognize anyone else.
But yeah, so the intermingling of the executive branch and corporate America continues. Did you guys also see this one?
Yeah.
This came in, I think, right as we were doing the show last week, and I just didn't have time for it. But they cut the deal to get TikTok, and then suddenly Barron Trump as a member of the executive board for TikTok. I don't know how that came to pass. That just then we had let's see here. You had, the whole crypto thing. You had, Trump doing his shitcoin like we talked about. And then we've got Howard Lutnick admitting that his fund has a whole bunch of exposure to Bitcoin and that if it dips, he'll get more exposure. We had this fun one where someone had clipped out Donald Trump saying that the United States is in the middle of a tough trade negotiation with China. And we have American elites acting as useful idiots for the CCP. Then we all, but never mind the man behind the curtain taking photos with freaking Justin Sun, a known, Chinese crypto grifter. And then we also have stuff like brought up by Better Markets, where there are the industry basically trying to expand this tokenization effort and in expansion into crypto, into, like 401ks, where now you can, they're pushing for being able to buy crypto in 401ks at the expense of retail investors. So,
but even the the commission seems to be embracing this. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the current SEC's just completely undone all of the past administration's policies regarding crypto and full out embracing everything from
Mm-hmm.
tokenization to just the crypto market in general.
Yeah. Which is getting more terrifying because you also saw that recently it was approved that in people's 401ks that they can add basically hedge funds and private equity and all that
and crypto.
stuff.
Yeah. And then private equity is like not doing so great right now.
Not doing so great. Well,
They
there was
want
a video
back-
I saw that Patrick
Same.
Boyle did.
Yep. I watched that today
That was
earlier.
a really good explainer of the big issues of, we have higher interest rates. It's less easy to get cheap debt. And a lot of these hedge funds, how they operate is to leverage up okay businesses like small value businesses and basically leverage them up to get, higher returns by basically leveraging the company. So you get higher, value extraction. But if interest rates go up or the company gets unstable, then you end up with a company that is hugely burdened by the debt it's taken on. So,
well, that's why all those LBOs typically turn sour with like your shitty. Lately, it's been the I'm trying to think of the good examples, but all your like retail food chains. I mean, they just go belly up within a few years of the private equity buyout.
Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that every private equity investment is inherently bad or inherently evil, though I do think it was good of Patrick to bring up that some of these companies extract their value at the expense of the average consumer of the company or radically destroy the company. We've talked about instances where private equity has underestimated the future economic forecast to disastrous effects. Like we had a whole book where we talked about, Caesar's Palace and then the whole Harrah's thing, which was a huge leverage debt directly into the great financial crisis. Toys R Us is another one where sure, they revamped a bunch of these stores that definitely needed the help and everything, but there was just too much debt into an economic crisis that harmed retail outlets in a very meaningful way. And you're starting to see that, with the exception of a handful, I think. I can't remember which one specifically in the video. I don't know if you did, Platinum, but there was two that he called out. But other than that, most of these private equity outfits, even Apollo is struggling.
He brought up Apollo, but he was talking about the whole the First Brands and the other one that and
where
how
a lot of this corporate debt's looking like junk debt.
Right. And the whole shadow banking industry, which Better Markets brings up all the time, how it's unregulated and there's a ton of money going on there. And yeah.
But
The good thing we'll get to 401k that shit, huh?
Yeah,
oh
yeah. Say,
I have a feeling that we're going to be fine because we won't get suckered into this stuff. But I get the feeling there's going to be a lot of unsuspecting people, not just the degeneracy we talk about, but normal people who are thinking, oh, a hedge fund, these are professionals. Clearly, they should know what they're doing.
And that's exactly how it'll get pitched. It'll get pitched as this easy way to maximize returns. And
diversify.
It will. You want a little bit of private equity in your portfolio.
A little crypto. Some
yeah, a little. To be fair, I don't think most companies are going to be like Coinbase and just list all these shit coins. They're going to be very selective, especially for 401ks, and the option will probably be left up to your employer as to whether you can invest in these things. But the fact that, for a lot of small business, because I worked at a small business prior to the job I have now, a couple jobs back. And a lot of the times what a 401k is it's this simple, it's called a simple IRA, where it's treated like a 401k. You have company matching like a 401k, but you get to pick the investments that go into the portfolio. You are completely responsible for your retirement. And that can lead to some very good outcomes if you know what you're doing and you play it smart. It can also lead to some very bad outcomes, as I think we've seen before. But or you could be in this company like my current employer, where you only get like the handful of things. Like you can pick bonds, you can pick, like the S&P or things like that, but don't expect to be doing anything fun. It's your retirement account. We want you picking things that are guaranteed winners, because this is what you're going to live off of when you're not working here anymore.
I think that's probably best for the vast majority of people. I'm the first one to say that I like to be able to do whatever I want, pick whatever investment strategies I feel fits me. But at the same time, I think that there needs to be some guardrails to protect people, especially when it comes to their retirement accounts. As that's not a good thing for
Well, and
society.
also a lot of people, unlike us, don't have time to dedicate to the research required to be able to pick individual stocks. Like, I'm not going to pretend like there's a reason why we talk VTI here a lot, where like, we have platinum shilling it.
Even though you
regularly.
fudded it last week.
I wanted some conversation.
I have Ocelot here to back me up, though.
I wanted an interesting debate, and we got it.
Yeah, for sure.
But for those people that just don't have the time to spend or don't want to spend the time, it's just
which is probably most people, honestly. Like,
well, I think you're just right, though. I mean, it takes think about how many hours that like a hedge fund or some research firm spends before they invest in a single company. I mean, they're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on a single company before they make that investment decision. And a lot of people think that they can get rich quick in the market just by looking at press releases, skimming a 10K, and YOLOing their life savings into a stock.
I feel like I'm
that's
being
just not
attacked,
going to end well.
skimming 10Ks and just doing basic calculator math.
I'd be lying if I said I haven't done the same.
Right. Well, but that's also now, like when I worked at Verizon and I had a 401k, I didn't even look at it ever. Like I just, the company matched. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
whatever.
you see a lot of people now on Twitter, which I think is absolutely crazy, trying to, I think I have it as my stupid tweet of the week, but basically, or it's one of the ones I'm going to have to decide to pick at the end of the show. But basically, also a heads up, Ocelot, I hope you have his.
Oh yes, you got to pick a stupid tweet.
I'll go on Twitter and look now. I'll find
looking at Kristen Shaughnessy immediately.
But hey, I think we need to put her on the banned list.
No.
But basically, the guy saying that 401ks are matching is a scam, and it's like, what?
What?
So trust me, it's really dumb. But yeah, so our last, I may have some like lawsuits to catch up on, but our last big main event story is another one I wish that Amy was here for, but I can run us through it. So have either of you guys been following the Letitia James story, as it's Pulte adjacent?
I mean, I saw the headline and I was repulsed when I saw it because it's just going after political opponents, which disgusts me. But other than that, I haven't followed it.
So I had this as a start off because, like, here we have the vice president saying that we should just let the facts speak for themselves. Let's see how much that changes really fast. So recently we've talked about previously before that there's a lot of people also in Trump's own administration who have some shady, multiple home purchases where they say it's their primary residence. And basically the administration has been spending all this time deflecting it because most of the main charges against Letitia James, Lisa Cook, and Schiff are all basically the same thing. And they're asking, well, why aren't you going after these people? Hint, hint, it's because they're Republicans. In case that wasn't clear. Then after this questioning, which included some other things from Stephanopoulos, but this was one of them. Trump was basically like, yeah, I'm not taking any questions ever again from ABC because you made my vice president look like a dipshit, which isn't hard to do, by the way. After that, we got the reports from the House that, as a brief summation, this was the first complaint that Pulte recommended, and was the Letitia James one. They didn't even go with the house that he had sent over to the DOJ. They went with a different one because also they had two different grand juries. They presented it to one grand jury, and we'll get to that a little bit more in depth in a second, and they did not indict. So they went to a different courthouse in the district and got a different grand jury, presented different evidence, and then got the indictment. That's how shady this is from the jump. Then we find out that the house that they went with is basically being lived in by Letitia James's great niece, and that it wasn't listed as a secondary residence, which they claimed. Letitia James is a co-signer to the lease. Not co-signer to the lease, co-signer to the loan agreement that her niece is on. So this is even worse than the claims that Pulte went with, and this is what they're going with. I make that logic make sense.
So she co-signed for the mortgage and then didn't make her pay?
Yeah.
Can I get a great aunt like that?
I know, right? That's what I was saying. Like, what? So after that happens, they then have to shift the narrative again. Okay, that's a different one. They basically tried to say she was a liar and all this stuff because they couldn't handle the facts. And then they decided, oh, well, it isn't that, because of the lease. It's because that basically her niece is a fugitive fleeing the law. And so she's hiding a fugitive. And the fact that they are going so far afield of their original claims is basically a tacit admission that they know they are not winning on any of these points. So they've got to constantly keep changing the story. And then, of course, you had Eric Trump get on Fox News and say she's a felon. Incorrect. We're going to go over that in a second. Which brings us finally to what actually happened. So what happened is no, her niece isn't a felon. No, she basically what happened is she was charged back in 2006. She was put on in 2011. She was put on probation for misdemeanors, misdemeanor assault and misdemeanor trespass. And apparently she violated her parole terms. And that's what all this is about. So we're so far afield of even what's going on here. And the fact that they're having to reach for this stuff should tell you what their case is going to look like when Letitia James goes for arraignment on the 21st, I believe it is. So Tuesday. Not looking good for them. Let's put it that way. 1 second. I forgot to turn off my dryer. I thought I'd shut that off, but this is what we're working with. This is the absolute stupidity we're working with. We also did get an update in the Bill Pulte is a racist no duh lawsuit, where the people who were of Indian, not Indian with a feather, Indian with a dot. And yeah, I get that joke is also kind of in of itself racist, but so actual Indians from Asia, India, suing Bill Pulte for race discrimination in federal court as part of their termination from the Federal National Mortgage Association, also known as Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae had moved for motion to dismiss and compel arbitration. I'm not going to go heavily into this document. I'll probably save it for an extra, but it's pretty much a breeze. They're basically saying that they are not denying that the FAA is applicable, but basically what and how that they went about it. It was supposed to be that if you acknowledge that you read this email, you're also acknowledging the terms of the agreement therein and submitting yourself to arbitration. And they're saying that's not a valid way to initiate an agreement and there is no ability to bargain, and it's not clear that they even acknowledged the email as part of continuing employment. So that's their argument, that basically we're not disputing that there was an arbitration agreement. We're disputing that it's applicable to our clients because it wasn't clear how you even submit to the arbitration. That's like the 1,000-foot overview. I could go into more depth with that, but that pretty well covers what's going on there. What other stuff here? I just want to make sure we're not missing anything important.
Do you have how Pulte put out the 10K risk?
Oh, we'll get to that. I saved it for the meme stock section.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because let's be honest, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac at this point are meme stocks.
Meme stocks,
They're
Well,
not.
given the people I saw involved in it, yeah, it's definitely a meme stock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Have you been on their subreddit?
I have not. I don't really use Reddit.
It's crazy because all of them clearly speak like in the meme stock lingo, but they hate Bill.
They
think he's just an idiot that happens to be in the way of their MOAS. They don't use the term MOAS because I don't think they actually believe in MOAS. But let's be honest here. They think they're going to get filthy rich because Donald Trump is going to not dilute the fuck out of them. Yeah. Good luck with that. Let's see here. There was one interesting thing from Better Markets that I saw, and I don't want to get into too much of it, but basically saying that they have a problem with the SEC basically ruling by fiat, more or less, that they've been using, instead of having changing the rules by having open comment to the public, they have been basically making these statements that they're changing policy without having public comment on the policy and saying that they don't have to and things like that. I've been slowly liking Better Markets.
I told you, Better Markets is awesome.
Like that,
they're always on point, and they can't be bought. So I love that about them.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically what their article is going over.
I didn't know that. Okay, in that case, maybe they will pass that PDT rule without a comment period.
The PDT rule?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you explain that?
So right now they have it where you cannot trade 3 times within 5 rolling days unless you have more than $25,000. And FINRA already approved to change it to $2,000 instead. And then it just has to go through the SEC and get approved there. And, normally they would do a comment period. But I haven't seen that yet. So
yeah, they may just not do it, which is what like
bullish for Virtue, bullish for Hood, bullish for Webull, like bullish for any of the brokerages,
anyone
right?
who benefits from basically
from
idiots,
like the poors being able to trade more.
Yeah,
which are not the poors.
Like I like fundamentally I don't like the 25,000 rule, but like on the thing that like
I never liked it.
But like you have to admit that this is only going to lead to bad outcomes for people.
I mean, you can just have a cash account if you have less than 25,000 if you want to trade more than 3 times in 5 days.
Yeah.
So,
that rule I hate. That rule
that's what I'm saying.
Like that.
That's the rule.
That I was thinking about the minimum date that
it's a day trader rule.
Rule I hate.
Yeah.
That part I absolutely don't get. Like I get that you can just it doesn't follow you, it follows the account. So you can just make a new account, move all
you can have more account, right? So you can have multiple accounts, or you can just switch to a cash account if you want to trade more. And then the only difference is that you have to wait for the next day for your cash to settle. That's all.
Yeah.
Whereas this one would just make it so you could continue trading the same day, and rather than it saying like, oh, you can't close this trade today because you already have 3 trades in 5 days. Well, then you can close the trade. It's really like the only difference.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes though, right? Like you never know. There could be consequences that we have no idea about.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I first started trading, like these guardrails, I absolutely hated them, and some of them I still don't like. Like some of them are, I think, a little too strict. But at the same time, like I've seen some of the people who trade, and it's just like I see why these exist now. It's not me.
Yeah, but I mean, if you make your money, you should be able to do whatever you want with your money.
Right.
And like they're just pretty. I mean, it's literally just a rule for poors. You know,
And,
like if
which
you
is
put
really
more than
weird because
25K,
when
then
I
the
thought it
rule's
was a
gone.
rule originally, like the swing trading rule, I thought it was a rule for the other direction, not a rule for the poors, but a rule for the poors because it gunks up the FTDs and everything. If people with really small accounts can just, you know, and create a bunch of FTDs and move their money around all the time. And like, if you should be able to move your money around, you need to have at least a sizable, you know, amount of money but like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I don't know. We have the whole, you know, 1-day settlement, which that's supposedly supposed to like help FTDs a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah. You know what? Before we get into our meme stocks, there's one last thing. I know we have not talked about him in a while. It's been a while since we've talked about Mr. Beast.
Oh, it has.
Did you see this?
Oh yeah,
either of
I
you
did just see that. That was it, to launch his
I
own
saw
bank.
the headline.
Makes sense. I mean,
yeah, I don't trust this at all. Not one iota. But here it is. Like, I can do anything about it. Get ready for the dumpster fire. If it's anything like his other, like, I just inherently don't trust an influencer doing serious stuff like this. Like, there's just something about it that I've seen so much of the influencers that try and get into stuff like this and have botched it so hard. Like, not even like actually doing it. I mean, like sponsoring other like fintech platforms. And I just inherently in my gut, something about this feels like it's going to be very bad. I don't know
They all
about the
seem
rest
to
of you.
have really, really bad judgment. I don't know what it is about being an influencer, but they always seem to spawn. I mean, it even happens with athletes too, I guess. Think about all the athletes and actors and actresses that
With
sponsored
the meme coins.
the FTX and whatnot. I mean, they all
Oh
just seem to
yeah,
have.
that.
I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
that's all their fault, but like it just seems like I don't know if they just don't have people in their corner giving them good advice. But for whatever reason, the judgment with a lot of these people is really, really bad.
Speaking of FTX, did you see that there was a guy on Twitter who basically did an interview with him and he was trying to say that FTX was never insolvent?
You know, I did see that. Again, another thing I didn't really read into. I just saw the
I didn't
headline.
either. I just saw it and was like, you ain't fooling anybody, bro.
I mean, all these like white collar criminals have come out of the.
I didn't commit any crime.
Yeah,
trust
I
me,
didn't
bro.
do anything wrong. Trump, please pardon me so I can go grift some more people.
Well, that's the great thing about the Ty Lopez one is it's an SEC lawsuit. There's no criminal charges. So Trump, well, I suppose Trump can call up the SEC and tell them to drop it, but like he can't pardon you. It's a civil complaint. So I guess we have that going for us on that one. All right. So as a lead into our meme stocks, have you seen this chart here? First of all, I want to know what okay, I guess they have the down here. S3's basket of heavily shorted stocks update to include the top 250 stocks. Okay, so their methodology is a little, I'm not sure, but at least they give us the methodology. I will grant them that. But apparently there's been, and I also wonder what part of this like people invest in, because we've seen a lot of these meme stocks or heavily shorted stocks have not worked out so hot for people. So seeing stuff like this chart, I don't know about you, Ocelot or Platinum, but I kind of would like to dig into the methodology of that and see what, where, when, and how, because it just seems very, I don't know.
Yeah, this chart doesn't really make much sense to me. I mean, it has the average stock compared to the most shorted.
And I assume this is. So
I'm guessing it's different stocks every day, because they're saying updates to include the top 250 each day, right?
Right.
this
So
is
this
probably
could keep
something
going
different.
up regardless of if it's
Yeah,
different
like the
stocks
stock,
or not.
right? Exactly. Like one stock could probably fall off the list, and then a different stock, rolls
So
onto
it
the list or
definitely
whatever.
is biased a bit because you have no idea who's on here and who's off here. It could be that Beyond Meat is on here today because it did the run from 50 to 65 cents, but tomorrow it could be gone because it goes back to 25.
Well, what's
Or-
the thing on the left? Is
Or
that
no, heavily shorted. So maybe
percentage
the short
or
interest changes. The thing on the left here, I want to say probably is, I guess it is percentage. Yeah. Well, that maybe they cropped it here and we can't tell, but this.
Where's this
Again,
from?
we
Is
have
this
no idea.
Financial Times?
It looks like
That's
it
what it
based
looks
on
like.
how
It
it's
does,
laid
based on
out.
the color.
Mhm.
I did see that they had an article. I don't know if you saw it, talking about how short sellers were blaming retail for their
Now that
losses.
was on my list
Oh,
to get
yeah.
here. I think it was kind of taken out of context by bar chart here.
Agree.
Did you read the article though? Because I hadn't
I
actually
did.
pulled it up. So what was the article like basically saying? Because it seems like from the title, it's more like it's not that short sellers are being hurt by this. They're just saying that people aren't as attracted to our information or our funds or whatever because there's a lot of rational exuberance.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of short sellers saying that just contrary to what the baggies say, short selling's hard and short
Mm-hmm.
selling's kind of fallen out of favor. I mean, it always kind of goes in and
Ebbs
out.
and flows.
Ebbs and flows given the times and what the market conditions are. But recently, in the past several years, you've seen a lot of notable short sellers kind of just call it quits. I mean,
Yeah,
Chanos,
Chanos. Mhm.
Hindenburg Research, the baggies will say
That
it's
one
because
really
of it.
surprised me because he was like a game finding actual criminals.
I
When
agree.
he
I
decided
mean,
to,
the baggies have their theory that he's under DOJ investigation. LOL. That's absolutely retarded.
he's been
If you
the
believe
best
that,
friend of
you
the
are a
DOJ.
moron.
What?
But yeah, I mean, I think it's just difficult, and with the market conditions, it's just a very difficult strategy to have your fund solely focus on, or at least majority focused on. Um, and then the other component to the article was really just what you said, that is really retail investors, not just retail investors, but the exuberance that you see in certain pockets of the market making short selling practically impossible. I mean, there's plenty of stocks out there that are run by straight out criminals, fraudsters that just, I mean, no business model, financials are horrible. They just go
Mhm.
up. I mean, they go up until they don't, but it makes short selling very hard to do when that's the case.
Yeah. Well, which is like, there's such prime targets for short selling. Like, but it's like you said, the irrational exuberance. Like, here's a list of billion-dollar companies that have zero revenues, not zero earnings, zero revenues.
ASTS does have revenue, but other than that, all the rest are zero.
And here's the actual like chart.
Well, I think the problem too is that it's not like the stock price is the way it is before the market is aware of potential problems with the company. The stock price will be irrationally high even after market participants bring it to light that this company may either be a complete fraud, is in fact a fraud, or whatever the issue may be. Like you still have people actually taking that information and using it as a thesis to buy it on some short squeeze nonsense or whatever. So
Right.
it makes it just so difficult. I think that's definitely a small pocket of the market, but it's still the case in a lot of these stocks we talk about.
Right. Speaking of one of those stocks,
Oh my god.
We're going to start here. I've got a whole list of them. We've got not a whole lot of meme stocks to talk about, but definitely some of them are denser and beefier than some of the others. We've got Bollinger. I had to pick this one out because BAM was spending all last week tripping out about leading into it being delisted. That is his magic vibrator had found the vibrations, and it vibrated all right. It vibrated all the way down to 20 cents real quick and went lower than that.
Yep.
But what
I think
was
it's down to
even more
13.
Oof.
Yeah, 13 cents, 13 and a half cents roughly.
Sounds like a New Year's Eve bankruptcy, if you ask me.
So, but I was talking with you guys beforehand about some of this news. Can you explain to me what's going on here? Because I saw it, but I followed like zero of it. As far as this Winvest taking a 10% stake, allegedly. And I'll let you guys explain allegedly.
Well, from what I know, he said that he had that stake, but it was actually like stale numbers. Like he didn't actually have that big of a percentage because, of course, the outstanding shares grew as they do because it's Mullen. But not only that, he also sold already.
We got this here.
Yeah, so scroll down. Let's look at that. Does it have his sales on there? What's that? Yeah, see? Aren't those his sales? Or no? Oh, no, those are buys. Sell. See?
So does this like say that he basically killed his entire, he bought and then immediately sold out of his position, or?
That's what it appears to me.
Because this
so he made money.
So it feels like almost like a short swing rule if indeed he's correct on his numbers of how much he bought.
Well, no, not short swing, because he would have to already own over 10% and then buy and then sell.
Gotcha.
I also did a tweet earlier in the week. I did a tweet earlier in the week where this was 3 days ago. So Bollinger's last reported share count prior to the delisting was 505,000 outstanding shares. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. 505,000 outstanding shares. Now the OTC Markets is reporting that the share count is actually 11 million, a 22x increase. And that's not all. Despite the expansion of outstanding shares, volume has fallen off a cliff, and that was
because I think all of that price was them being kicked out of all the ETFs they were in, and the warrant holders trying to exercise the last bit of money that they were going to be able to extract out of this share price at whatever price they could get.
Agree. And once you're on the OTC, you have certain platforms that no longer will quote your security. I know Robinhood no longer allows trading of Bollinger, if I'm not mistaken.
All of like the two main meme stock platforms, Webull and Robinhood, you can't trade on there anymore. You got to get a big boy account on a big boy exchange or brokerage. So
he actually had less than 0.5% of a position, not the 9.99% that he thought.
That's pretty hilarious.
He pulled a Kristen Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
Well, apparently this wasn't the only time he's done it, because I think if you click through on one of those comments, that like he had this situation with another company. I vaguely remember it. Again, I was just kind of skimming this stuff beforehand. Usually we have a lot more to talk about with Mullen, but I think Mullen's kind of on its last legs finally, and we can put this to bed. I still am holding out hope for the memes that we'll get September 29th, but like Platinum said, I don't know how much longer this company is going to stick around.
Yeah, I don't think September next year. That's a long time.
I mean, their entire strategy was just to issue convertible notes to some family office or whoever it might be, some accredited investor, in exchange for a few $1,000,000, and they would just convert those. And I just think that strategy is going to be very hard to execute on the OTC markets.
Yeah. Though, for your nearest or closest, are you doing Price is Right rules where it has to be nearest close bid under?
It is Price is Right rules.
So it can't be that you're close. If you're over, you're over.
Yeah, also needs to decide on if receivership counts.
Oh, yes, I do need to figure that. I said by Friday, right? And today's Saturday?
I don't remember.
Well, you can make the announcement here live.
Yeah, he figured it out.
No, receivership does not count. I will make that tweet.
Okay. All right, fine.
Has to be bankruptcy, no receivership. Got it. So our next meme stock, we had some tweets that came out from Donald Trump about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So after this is when Pulte put out the yep.
With the
That
10K,
one.
where it had the disclosures in it that, hey, the government owns a lot of warrants. They could massively dilute the fuck out of common equity. Be prepared.
Yeah. Your equity could have no value or very little value.
I like that they put the no value in there because it brings my theory of why would you combine these two and then re-release on an IPO if your plan wasn't to basically either create. It's really weird how they've explained it because they said they're only going to do like a partial IPO where you would get an IPO with a stake in, but that's not how IPOs work. And then they were saying that like, so if you were doing a new IPO of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac combined into one company, wouldn't that also get rid of the old equity unless you created an investment conversion based on the new equity? Like nothing that the administration has said about this has made a lick of sense. And I don't know what your guys' opinions are on that as far as...
I mean, we have Pulte in charge, so...
Pulte is not in charge. And the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac bulls will continue to harp on that, even though some of them are diehard about following his every word because he's one of the few people that talk about it regularly. But they got this very love-hate relationship where they are obviously aware that he's a fucking idiot, but are also like he and one other person are the only ones talking about it. Oh yeah, Bill Ackman. Except Bill Ackman isn't in the administration. We had some cope come out of that entire post. Let me interpret Pulte's tweet. Oh boy.
Oh, God.
After what he even used quote marks. Oh geez. Here we go. After what we just witnessed in the Coinbase crypto fiasco, where folks were 20 to 100% leverage and lost everything, we want to remind our meme stock bros that the stock market is a place where mature adults, well, I guess exclude you guys, where mature adults play, and you shouldn't bet your house on something. But you all are, aren't you? Right? Let's be honest here. You guys are, though, right? Like, let's not kid ourselves. I've read your guys' subreddit. You guys are definitely in this way more than you should be. And that even the upshot is a 10-bagger from here. Sure. Now, while every investor should already know these things, I recognize that both are currently trading on the OTC, which means that they are categorized as high risk until the president decides to pull the trigger and deliver what he promised. Okay. To those who doubt him, you should get out now. To those who, here we are. We're into the religion section. To those who believe he delivers on his promises, just a little longer. These warnings are severe to cover my ass, as well as legitimately remind investors that there are risks. Or they are reminders that these are things that can and probably will happen. Like,
it's boilerplate, though. Boilerplate.
See, like that's always the thing is like, oh, anytime a 10K says something I don't like, it's boilerplate. It's just in there because it has to be. It doesn't mean that these things will happen, and then these things happen, and then suddenly everyone's ass hurt. Like,
I remember people, I forgot what stock community it was. It might have been AMC or MMTLP trying to say that a going concern warning was boilerplate.
Oh my God, it was Junk Savvy.
Yeah, it was Junk Savvy. It was.
I remember that. But I'm sure it was AMC too. Like,
yeah,
I'm
and
sure
of
it
course
was
we
funny.
get.
Oh God. Is he still bag holding that stuff? Or
Allegedly he is. Also, apparently that there's going to be a public comment. I can't really see.
There's supposed to be for 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means if it's 6 months, this isn't going to happen anytime soon if they hold to that.
Right.
Also, more from the same person where they're basically saying that there's no way that they're going to dilute because they already get a 10% dividend on their preferred shares. like, has that ever stopped Donald Trump from doing what will extract the most money for him or the government in any of these situations? Like, I'm just confused how much
doesn't that not count as being repaid? Even though they've paid all that money, doesn't that not count towards repaid? Wasn't that in a lawsuit somewhere? Okay. Yeah, I would have to look too, but I thought that was determined in a lawsuit already.
Yeah. And
I'll have to look into it.
Please do that research. We can come back next week.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, I'm sure we will, because I'm sure they'll have more stuff, because both those companies are basically meme stocks now. They're right where they belong.
For sure.
Next up is wow, we're really actually making good time. We'll get out of here early. Who knows? But,
perfect.
I don't want to say it out loud too fast, though. This segment is Platinum. You'll have to get on your customer service hat or headphones.
Thank you for calling Fidelity.
As we had last week, Platinum was acting as our official GameStop customer service rep, or Fidelity rep for GameStop shareholders, as she has the right tone of voice that I don't have, and the right way to comfort her fellow GameStop investors with things that have been going on. And considering that the crazy continues, we thought we'd bring it back. Ocelot, you can also join in as you desire. By no means
be my supervisor.
I know. I need to. This is too much crazy. I need to transfer you to my supervisor.
I'll transfer you to the compliance ocelot.
We're gonna transfer you to the compliance ocelot instead of the compliance officer. So this first one, can you guys identify the problem here?
Oh my God, yes, pesos. Am I right?
Yeah, do you want to do the conversion here? So like the pesos, if you put in that exact number, you get kind of a rough book, So like that in pesos is 10.8 million. What's GameStop's market cap? Oh, it's kind of roughly in the neighborhood.
10.3 billion.
Yeah.
Problem solved. You're very welcome.
Softball. Yeah. Easy softball to start us off. Okay, I'm going to switch to the next one here. And get it to load in.
5 stars. Please rate me 5 stars for that interaction.
Okay, how about this one?
It certainly appears that IBKR has been selling the public non-existent shares of GameStop, i.e. fake shares, crediting customer accounts, making it look like wait, hold on, go back up. Making it look like the customer has shares, when in fact, IBKR never held the underlying GME security. IBKR is so fucked. So many lawsuits are going to be filed. They're going to be driven into bankruptcy.
What's the real thing that's being referenced here?
Oh, so they would charge $1,000 if people try to exercise them on the very last day. That's it.
That's it.
Not any other day. Just the very
last day you can
when
possibly
they're going
execute.
to expire. So in other words, October 30th, 2026, if you try to exercise them on that day, they're going to charge you more.
Wait, so bag holders taking things out of context? What a surprise.
Yes.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. You know what's also...
IBKR, so many lawsuits are coming for you.
You want to know what's also unbelievable?
Login error. For your security, access to those accounts. Schwab locking out users from account access for asking to okay. Source, please.
I do have the answer to this story.
Did they forget their password? Or
no.
I don't know what happened here. His retirement glitched for a split second and it showed a balance, oh God, in the millions, and he thought it may have been related to Bed Bath & Beyond. Oh, Jesus. What does that say?
This is the Schwab letter.
This is a Bed Bath guy.
This letter is in response to the follow-up correspondence followed Schwab Co. Incorporated by yourself and your on your behalf, the Securities Exchange Commission regarding your Schwab Personal Choice Retirement Account. Your request additional information regarding your initial allegation that on February 4th, 2025, you logged into your Schwab brokerage account and observed 2.4 million deposited into your initiated further things. I don't know if that's actually did I get the right thing here? Back up.
Well, this is a Bed Bath person. See? Right there it says it.
Here. So maybe AI flies and maybe try to extort money from Charles. Oh, no, that was down the train line of something different. But yeah, it's probably a glitch. I thought that they were referencing the thing, but no, they were referencing a different instance where someone had accidental money glitch into their account and then they tried to
and he thought he told everybody they were going to get their Bed Bath payout.
Yeah.
I think
that was
a while
something
ago,
completely
right?
different, but
Yeah, that was
likely
in
still
like
a
April.
glitch.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And they definitely got paid out right after that. So
Cash plus equity.
Oh, definitely.
Congrats. They got GME warrants.
Next.
You can't fake a move like this. GME gets flash dumped at 9:45. Instant fee reversal. Gee, let me guess. Was it the whole market?
Yeah, it was the whole market. I, in fact, retweeted and made the joke that the whole market dumped like that this morning. You're not special. Because that's exactly what happened.
That's
we need to find some hard ones here because these are really easy, actually.
They sweep stops, refill liquidity, then bounce like nothing happened. Okay.
Platinum, have you had a broker deny
BTI.
you your warrants?
I
know this is Baggy Travis, but you know.
Oh, my favorite, Baggy Travis.
The OG Baggy Travis, not the Bed Bath & Beyond.
This is the real deal right here.
Yeah. All right, scroll down. Who has anyone? Still don't have mine on public. They said they show them delivered. I got them on public. Should look like this. Okay.
What does this have to do with AMC?
Tagging.
I love
That's
when baggies try and transverse the lines of their little walled garden and end up pissing off their OG fans. It's really great.
Well, they're pissed. No. They're pissing off GameStop investors because that is making GameStop shittier.
Oh, I see now. Yeah, I just originally.
When you tag
not tagging the sticky floor debt-ridden popcorn.
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, you see a lot of this. Like, it's not just Baggy Travis, but Spencer has been trying to rebrand himself as a GameStop OG, and it's kind of hilarious. All these AMC people trying to escape.
Well, yeah.
Half will go into politics, and the other half will pick up another meme stock.
Exactly.
I do miss that Baggy Travis. He used to engage with the shills more. He doesn't anymore. I miss those days.
You miss those days when he'd get on a live stream and then lie about it, the options trades he made to semi-skeptic, and then get called out live by looking at the data on the options as if they aren't public.
So fucking funny.
He's the guy that claims to have 15 years options experience, yet buys these McDonald's dollar menu options.
I remember one time he posted a screenshot. I forget who it was in reply to, but he changed the color to show his gains and losses. He changed it from red to green, but he didn't realize that the brackets were an instant giveaway that it was a loss. And that was one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, that's so great. I have my own Baggy Travis story because after the conversion happened and I made my money off of the arbitrage, and I showed in my brokerage account that I had like, I want to say it was like 4,000 in gains that I had made. And it was like about a 40% return. He's like, oh, well, I had a better return than you. And he shows his like $5 gain on a 300%, you know. And I'm trying to say, dude, I just made 4K. Shut the fuck up. He's like, oh, yeah, but you didn't beat how much percentage I got. Imagine if I had as much money to you to put in that trade. And it's like, but you didn't. So shut up.
God, I miss those days.
Pathetic. Next one.
Oof. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. I think I already said
We
this
talked about it, I
before.
think, last week too.
Well, I actually told somebody the day they announced the warrant dividend. I'll bet you if it's possible to exercise these early,
because they are their warrants.
we're going to see that happen.
Yeah.
And of course, here we are. You guys, stop doing this. It's a terrible idea.
Stop taking guaranteed losses.
So ridiculous. Like, if you want GameStop shares, buy them on
cheaper.
Sale. Yeah.
Well,
Don't spend
down at $32 down 33.
Wasn't there an MMTLP person that thought that not being able to exercise out of the money options was indicative of manipulation?
Yes, that was part of the Voltron DD.
Oh, that was the Voltron DD. Yes. They thought that their broker was somehow like manipulating that. I don't even know what.
Right, they had to fight their
broker
broker to let them be able.
Yeah,
to
they were arguing back and forth with the broker that not allowing them to exercise out of the money
This is why I
options
couldn't do
was.
customer service for any of these brokers.
Well, they finally gave in, but they did fight them on it for a little bit.
Yeah, they gave them a bunch of disclosures like, "Hey, you will be instantly down on your position."
Right.
But they proceeded with it.
Same thing with this. Like, you're going to be instantly down on your GameStop share. So what are you doing, guys? Wait till it goes over 32 and then do it.
Just buy them at the market price where they're cheaper.
The only time it makes sense to do this is if the stock is over. I mean, this is so obvious, but I guess maybe not. But the stock has to be over 32 for this to make sense.
But what if you want to expose the shorts?
Okay, good point.
Also, it makes no sense to even exercise then because you still have the time value of the option because that's what a warrant is. So you shouldn't be exercising until you're really close to expiry.
Or, well, not only, I mean, if it goes over 32 a lot, right, and it's soon.
Right. And you just want to
and it makes sense to you, then do it. But like, this won't expose anything because when you do that, GameStop is issuing a brand new share to you.
Yeah.
So this doesn't
FUD.
do anything to shorts.
FUD.
All right. Next one here.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure what's happening here. Some people don't know how to take liabilities and minus that.
Look, the balance sheet is comprised of assets and liabilities to get book value. Oh, man, Marantz is going to be all over us now. We're talking about book value. Oh!
Well, when it comes to the whole, securities sold, not yet purchased, we pay attention to the liabilities, right? But when it comes to, a company that you're invested in, for some reason, we don't pay attention to liabilities.
Are FUD. Liabilities are FUD.
I actually made a tweet about that earlier this week.
The convertible
oh, really?
Notes, then they're super FUD.
Like about the securities sold, not yet purchased?
Yeah, I don't know how to share something, but if you go to my page and type in
are you on a computer or are you on your phone?
On my phone.
It should be down at, like, if you is it in a browser? I've not really done on my phone before, but down on the low bar, there should then down on the low bar there should be your mic, your video options, and then in the middle should be an option for screen share. The lower middle.
I don't see it.
I can probably find it.
Platinum, if you can pull it up, just type in the cash tag, Bollinger's cash tag, and it will come right up.
Oh, which date was it?
2 days ago.
Okay.
It's like the first thing on Bollinger's cash tag. I mean, it's not that great of a tweet.
Here we go. Is it the equivalent of the security?
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. Let me share. Boop. The equivalent of the security sold and not yet purchased trope is saying that Mullen is a great buy right now at 13 cents, $1.7 million market cap, because it has 89 million in assets.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I remember you posting that. Yeah. Amazing.
Yep, like forget the whole liabilities, right?
Oh. But yeah, even like I want to say down here there was a pretty good like breakdown. Here it is.
1171. Yeah, that's about right. There we go.
Let me get it into a font there, size that's good. So the actual book value is $11.71 a share. And there's even some, like, if you gave like
they're on
forward,
Twitter too.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, say if you gave some forward multiples, you could get like price ranges from $21 to $24 if you got really crazy. But like that's the reason why I think we're about to get ready for one of the other ones here. Oh yeah, because we can't go through GameStop talks without.
Wait, a broker could let customer exercise, keep the warrant, and sell a share to customer. No, that's no. And GME doesn't get that. No, that's not possible.
There's a warrant and sell a share.
Because when someone exercises, it's actually computer share that keeps track of that stuff and reports it to GameStop, and computer share would be the one to give them the share too. So, like on the next quarterly report, we'll probably see how many have been exercised so far. They'll probably report that.
Yeah. So let's go right ahead.
Looking at stocks, I'm talking about every second of the day watching tickers. And nothing moves like GameStop.
Really?
I've never seen anything move sideways on positive news, sideways on better earnings, sideways on more cash, sideways on insulation of that cash, the cash to value, sideways on new products. You guys want to know something? I was reading some other investments, and they'll come out and they'll be like, so-and-so partnered up with Sephora.
He's talking about NVIDIA, if that wasn't fucking clear. I don't know why he's trying to avoid that.
Why did you say Sephora?
Well, I mean,
why doesn't he just say OpenAI?
OpenAI. So-and-so partnered up with NVIDIA. Like, they start naming companies. And do you know what happens to the value of those companies? They go up.
Yeah, because they increase their revenue.
So GameStop should just say they have partnered with OpenAI.
But here's the thing: is like he's talking about cash, but we've talked about why just talking about GameStop's cash is meaningless. If they don't deploy the cash, then it's just cash on the balance sheet. That helps the book value. Don't get me wrong, but like if you should be deploying that cash so you can increase earnings and get a return on that cash. Like, I don't deny that at least some of it being set aside has been a good barrier to like some of the lean times GameStop has been having, where that's the only reason that they've had earnings some quarters. So like it keeps you out of the red. That's not a bad idea, but how much Platinum has actually been to, like, that hasn't been all of their cash earnings to bond investments or anything like that, right? That's been a pretty small portion of their cash assets, right?
Well, for bond earnings, it's been a lot. It was like a couple $100 million.
Right, but like, do they separate out how much of their, like, because bonds generally, because their liquidity are cash-like assets, right? So it'd be cash.
So they have it as like they pretty much have it all under cash, right? Because the marketable securities under 90 days are in there as cash. So it's like you can't really tell how much they actually have in bonds. But they make, a couple $100 million in interest.
Yeah, which if you were to translate that to like their cash, which is like what, 4 billion right now?
They have more than that, don't they? Don't they have like
they might
like 9
like
or
6,
11
isn't it?
or
6,
something?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I feel like hold on. Okay, keep going though, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, but like having that much, you'd have a lot more revenue from bonds. So all I'm saying is that they have a significant amount of their cash.
8.69 billion.
8.69. Okay, so I was off by
as of July 2025.
So they've got 8 billion. So if they were making that much in revenue from that, then they're obviously not deploying all their cash to bonds when they could. There'd be a risk involved. Don't get me wrong. You could end up having to sell those bonds at a loss if you need the cash, which is good that he isn't.
Yeah, but they're not gonna.
Right.
What would they need it for right now?
Right. but they're obvious, like, given how much their cash reserves are and how low they're, like, they can't be deploying all of it to like short-term bonds. I don't know.
At the end of the day, though,
like...
any investor can replicate exactly what they're doing in their own brokerage
and that's
account.
why it's trading sideways, because given GameStop's current, like, don't get me wrong, it's been good news. We've talked about it. We've talked about some of the stuff they've done, but the stock's so overbought from like whatever possible multiple they could be valuing GameStop at, based on what we do know and what the company has told us, because they don't give any future guidance. They don't tell us what their plans are or anything. So, you know, people placing values, or like people outside of retail like us that are looking at this company, they have no way to really look and see, okay, what's GameStop doing? What multiple can be assessed to GameStop? That's why it's trading sideways. It's been bid up to the price that it's currently at what, $23, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
and then also they could get up to 1.9 billion from the warrant exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, obviously, wouldn't expect it to all be exercised.
I kind of hate the saying everything's priced in, but in this case, it's kind of true. I mean, any potential upsides already expected.
When we looked at the thing from the Reddit post that we talked about earlier, to get to the $21 to $24 range, you'd be putting a 17x multiple on their fucking revenue
for a bunch of cash.
Yeah. So, like, that's why it's trading sideways, Marantz. You've already got an insane multiple attached to this stock. It's already trading at a ridiculous level. So, like, not saying that it could change, that, you know, GameStop could deliver on that at some point, but like right now, that doesn't seem to be the case. That's why after also what we talked about earlier, like it went up to this high into the distribution for the warrants, and then it came back down pretty fast right after.
Mm-hmm. Which I called that, remember?
We all did, because that's what happens after every dividend distribution, especially a special dividend, where it's a one-time thing that the company's giving out and it's not going to give it out again, likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Although they could if they wanted to, because they still have a
lot of shares.
A bunch of shares left over.
We've got a few more things here on the customer service line before we go into a few more Marantz things to wrap us off. So we gotta love the whole, you know, GameStop's becoming Berkshire half the way old meme coming back out. I think we talked about last week, Platinum, correct me if I'm wrong, that the company, when it made its warrant disclosures, said that they had no investments currently planned.
No acquisitions.
Yeah, no acquisitions currently planned.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it makes this kind of hard to sell.
I mean, this looks very AI generated.
I mean, let's see.
Well, I mean, they're probably not going to say that it is, but like if you go back to it and then where it says read more, it just gives me the vibes.
Well, I mean, if this is the opening article, I kind of get the feeling. I mean, this looks pretty generic about us. Yeah, let's learn more about you. Yeah, it's basically looks like it's just a headline regurgitation site.
They're stealing your data right now.
I bet. I should probably leave. I should probably leave while I get the chance. We already went over that. 1 second here. I'll get us our next thing. Oh, here we are. Our last big customer service thing.
GameStop is going to zero.
Yeah, with all the news outlets on Bart's head. Like, I don't know a single news site that's saying this anymore.
Yeah, how could it go to zero? Like, the liquidation value is not zero.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, with all the cash on hand,
Like,
it
there's
Still get
not a-
liquidated
never go
out
to
to like
zero.
at least 11 or 12 bucks. So,
Yeah, there's not a single news
I mean,
outlet
plus
right now that's
inventory
saying
and
that.
stuff. Like, yeah,
Like, not even like
it's not even
people who are
possible.
like not even the people who have the bear case on GameStop. If anything, they're saying that the multiple's too high and it should be closer to book value. Like, that's what's being
Yeah.
said.
I mean, as of today, it's not possible for it to go to zero right now. We'll see what the future holds, but not right now.
Yeah. One last Marantz thing. This is less customer service, more Marantz is a douchebag. 1 second here, I gotta get the volume going.
Laughed it out. Have you ever just laughed out loud, like while you're reading something? Laughed it out loud, bro. Check out this guy right here. He says, dude, I've never even heard of this guy, okay? Dude, first found your videos Googling and researching GME. Love the hype and bought into your passion and belief in this stock. Bought hard. Well, now I'm down nearly 4K and got screwed.
Imagine someone listening to your content and getting economically damaged by it, and you're putting them on blast and laughing at them because you're a piece of shit.
That's crazy.
Like, don't get me wrong, I generally try to stay away from giving direct advice of you should buy this or whatever. I usually stick to like the fundamentals of the stock. I might say I'm buying it, but I'm not going to suggest that you should buy it. Your financial situation could be completely different. But if I was to go down that road, I would not, after someone came to me and said, look, I listened to what you said and I lost money, I'd be mortified by that. That's why I don't give very many, like, I'm buying this advice or this stock looks nice, because I'm afraid that that's exactly what's going to happen. People are just going to, at rote, take what I say and then go try and do that. And then when they get disastrous results, come back and be like, I did this thing and I lost money, even though I know that based on how I present myself, I'm not suggesting people go out and follow everything I do. It would still be like, that's why I'm very careful about what I say. But like, to be someone who's like, yeah, I did what you said and I bought the stock and I lost money, and then to laugh at them. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, fake laugh at them too.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Well, and that's a lot of what other people were pointing out too, was like, it was a fake laugh. Like, he was trying to get around the fact that someone took his advice and it didn't work. Like, it was an ego kind of thing. Like, well, obviously you're the loser, not me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
How about a different meme stock? How about one that people are gonna be like, that's a meme stock? I'm like, yeah, I would classify as a meme stock.
Yeah, so I did buy a bunch of this for the government pump, and I actually have sold most of it now.
Well, because
I did make money though.
Yeah, and that's the entire the entire thing, because it was a pump. And sure enough, on the news of Bank of America suggesting it should go back to the $25 a share, back where I was at. Yeah, I would agree with that, because again, the big problems with this company is, okay, good, they got all this cash infusion, they have partnerships potentially rumored with Apple and AMD, and they have one with NVIDIA. The big problem with Intel is, cool, bro, that you got all this money, but your fabs, like your fabs, the people who buy the most from your semiconductor fabs is you. You don't really have much outside customers, and there's no proof that anyone else is going to be buying into it. In fact, during that NVIDIA press conference, NVIDIA sure didn't sound like it was going to be using your fabs. Okay, so like that, there's a big problem. You've done all this investment, but you haven't had any in streams. Second, this doesn't fix the problem that your CPUs are getting their ass whipped by AMD at every turn. GPUs, it's getting better. You're getting competitive. You're at least getting to the point where you're challenging AMD. Still a ways away from getting, like a lot of ways away from getting to NVIDIA, but you're adding market competition and making a competitive offering like you used to do in your CPU department. But like, there's a lot of question marks with Intel, a lot of question marks. That the money helps because it could help fix the problem, help, new investments be able to make it to that point where you're back again. And like AMD, before it had its run up, it almost went bankrupt too, kind of like where Intel is right now. So it's not saying that Intel can't do it, but like the fact that it's trading at almost $40 a share is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's why I have kind of longer dated cash secure puts at a much lower price, because I think it's coming back down eventually. Once like we've got earnings coming up next week, we'll see if that damages some of the hype train. But I have a feeling reality is eventually going to catch up with things. And like, I'm not the only person saying this. Get out of here. Former CEO Pat Gelsinger had said the same thing, that basically that's great that all this cash has come in, but unless people start filling out the fab orders, it fucking means nothing. And I know some people would say, well, that's, the previous CEO that got ousted, but I think he knows and understands what's going on with the business enough to be able to have an opinion on that. So things to look out about if you currently hold Intel at $37 a share where it's trading right now.
Yeah.
I thought I was screwed when the Bank of America report came out, because I did have a weekly that was set at 35 and it fell below that and then bounced back up to 37. So I was like, yeah, but like the premium is like crazy on the weeklies at that 35 strike. When it was trading at 37, it's like $40 a pop.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Like that's the premium I was ripping off. I'm not going to do any trading this week because it's a little too crazy, heading into earnings and all that stuff. But like weekly premiums are juicy on Intel. If you're selling calls or even cash secured puts, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. Next up, let's save that for later. Let's talk about some other news that I saw. We don't have a lawsuit yet, but we do have some people.
So I clicked on that and it wasn't there anymore.
It isn't?
Click on the link. I got it.
No, I saw a notice by the law firm that they more or less retracted the notice.
Really interesting. Because like
yeah,
it's gone. It's really interesting because like if there was ever a company to sue as of recently, I wonder if they got like some shareholder backlash or something.
Well,
or just a bunch of bag holders blowing up their
email,
I don't know, their page
probably
or website. I'm not sure.
Short.
Yeah. Well, I don't
all the people
it.
that Malone has YOLO'd their money into that shit.
Oh yeah, I bet. So we did have one other. I did want to briefly bring up the like crypto sort of things because progressive libertarian here was bringing up the
preferred shares,
the preferred shares volume, and they're like, oh man, volume is up and crazy. And he's like, yeah, volume was up because people were bailing. Oof.
Yeah, isn't MicroStrategy down a lot the last 3 months?
Yeah, it's really proving Jim Chanos's arbitrage strategy, because Bitcoin is up, MicroStrategy is getting the shite kicked out of it.
Yeah.
So
who knew? It looks like maybe the MicroStrategy shareholders maybe don't want to be, the source of the money to pay out all these preferred dividends. Maybe
dilution to buy Bitcoin isn't as much a great strategy.
Well, it's your only strategy. But not only that, it's also dilution to pay the preferred dividends, dilution to pay everything, basically. Everything is based on
when this blows up, I cannot wait. It will be the biggest ha 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 moment.
Well, I mean, I'll feel bad for any
I'll
shareholders.
feel bad for the
that
shareholders.
sucks.
I ain't gonna feel fucking bad in the slightest for Michael Saylor. Get fucked.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, we can see it for what it is. Other people are like, oh my God, this is so great. But then it's like when you have all these, you know, Bitcoin treasury companies, what makes you special anymore?
Well, especially when, again, like these companies made sense, at least somewhat, before there were Bitcoin ETFs. But
also the 401k thing, being able to do crypto in your, like, who needs MicroStrategy?
Why do I need MicroStrategy or any of these shit goes when I can buy it on an exchange? And if I don't want to do that and find it too risky, I don't blame you. You could just buy it as an ETF, or you could buy it in your 401k. Why would I need to buy any of these shit codes that massively dilute shareholders in order to buy Bitcoin?
Maybe I will get puts on MicroStrategy again.
Maybe. What's the short interest on MicroStrategy? Insane, probably.
But I also feel like it's one of those companies that, like, even though it's a huge Ponzi scheme, like, it doesn't really matter until it matters. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, and that's the thing. That's the really thing there is, like, the only reason I bring up short interest is because I'm one of those people that like to look at what's the price of buying an option versus because there's some cases like Beyond Meat where it totally makes more sense to buy puts because the cost to borrow on Beyond Meat is insanely disgusting. But there's some companies where the options are heavily juiced. Like I've seen AMC stuff sometimes, or some of these other meme stocks where it makes more sense to short rather than to buy the options because the baggies have juiced the options market so much that.
So the short interest is kind of high. It's 8.94 to 9.49%.
It's not crazy, but yeah, it's above FFR. That's
higher than I thought it was going to be. It's an increase of nearly 20% compared to the previous month. But I mean, it is going down, which I think it could be in part due to the fact that you can now, you know, have crypto in your 401k, and that was kind of
that too, but also all the dilution, because we've seen that with AMC, where like the dilution lowers your volatility, and it really pushes down the cost to borrow, and it pushes down the short interest and everything, and it makes it far less volatile. Like one of my favorite trades used to be AMC, and then putting it into overnight treasuries. And, you know, arbing the spread between the cost to borrow and the FFR rate. You can't do that here, but like that, I have a feeling that's going to be the future for MicroStrategy, where the more dilution you see to buy Bitcoin, the more you're going to see the cost of borrow and short interest go down, at least until, you know, some event happens, because it reduces volatility. Anyway. I don't generally like to go into this, but man, oh man, this meltdown was kind of hard to avoid. Yikes.
Oh God. Yeah. I feel bad for him. Like, this is actually like really sad. I hope honestly that he can like get help.
Figure it out.
This is not good.
Won't fix the fucking stock market fraud you guys fucking perpetrated on American fucking people. That's what I want to know. Why do you pretend to continue to care about anything? Anything. Give my family our fucking money.
What are you yelling at us for?
Because you run the stock market, you fucking frauds.
And so that even in relationship to?
No idea. Like that other dude, the always sad but truthful, like screamed at me in a space one time out of nowhere. So like, he's kind of off his rocker. And
I found that's like a recurring theme in the Bed Bath & Beyond community.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what happened, but MJL, like, I wish the best for you, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this meme stock stuff, I don't know, it does stuff to people's heads. I don't know if they're a little screwed up to begin with, but man, it definitely takes a toll.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think he expected to lose all his money in Bed Bath. Well, clearly. So yeah.
Well, and that's why these people that consistently lie and are still lying are just awful human beings.
Yeah, so bad.
And that's not just true with Bed Bath & Beyond. That's true with every meme stock where you have these like scammers that just lie to people's face. It's repulsive.
Yeah. Speaking of one of those people, we haven't talked about Thomas James all that much, but he's over here grifting Open Door.
On where I think it's heading. Hey everyone, so today I have a super important video on
Fix
Open
the
Door,
lighting in your
ticker
room,
symbol
dude.
open, on where I think it's heading over the next few weeks. As I said, this is a super important video based on what happened on Friday, not just to Open, but to the entire...
Also, let's take a moment to just like breathe in how shitty his technical analysis is there. Like, okay, he said that this was the Dorito wedge here, and it did come up and then come right back down. So it traded sideways, more or less. Like, also, shouldn't you?
Yeah, it looks like it's a
readjusting?
breakdown of his wedge right now.
Yeah,
I won't shit on his technical analysis. He knows more than me. I don't know anything about charts.
I mean, just look at it. Look at the lines.
Oh yeah, just look at the lines. Remember, this is astrology for
stonks.
Men. Yeah,
that is true. That's why I don't pay attention to it.
I look at it because it's fun to watch people draw lines in. Like it's fun to use on like daily things where like, you know, it might like I found that like it's like weather forecasting. Like the further out you get at trying to predict the weather, the worse it gets. But the closer in time you are, it's a lot easier. So like if you're using technical analysis for like daily price movements, it might be helpful. But this is a chart that's like days and weeks. Like if you think technical analysis is actually going to be helpful when there's so many variables,
what's the point of that bottom line?
This I think is the support line. So see, he's drawing it here. It hits the bottom here. It hits the bottom here. So this is the support
just
line.
Forever support up to $4 or something. So it could potentially just go back down to $4.
$4.50.
Yeah, I agree with all of what you said, Noisy. I think that some of the concepts, at least to me, make sense. Like, there's definitely a lot of psychology and just market sentiment involved in a lot of the trends. Like, you have the 50-day, the death cross, where like your 50-day moving average crosses to 200. I mean, like, that makes sense to me. Like, that is very bearish.
And it kind of gets back to like, what's his name? Where I know I should know because it's one of the kings of value investing, but like you know, short term, you know, stocks are a voting machine. Long term, they're a weighing machine.
Warren Buffett, that's him, right?
No, the guy who taught Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham. Boom.
Oh, that's a Graham quote. Okay.
Yeah. So like that's why I think long term technical analysis is shit. Because long term, you're weighing the actual fundamentals of the company. Short term, it's just, oh my God, something happened.
Agree.
So.
I mean, I also think that it is kind of like market psychology too, where if, you know, so many people believe it to be true, maybe that actually does make it kind of true, right? Because like if you think it's going to bounce off the V or whatever, and you're buying because you think that, and other people are doing the same thing, then maybe it will bounce off the V.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of sorts.
Right. So I do pay attention to some technical analysis. I mean, I have charts, obviously. I have the indicators on all my charts, and I switch them up all the time and kind of see what works. But
I do moving averages and RSI, and that's about it.
Yeah, I have all of those. RSI, I have everything. But like this, what is this? This is a disaster.
And again,
I will say that this is the well, I won't say this is a disaster. I'd say that this is an improvement.
I think it's a daily. No, wait, it is a weekly. Yeah, it's a weekly chart.
It's a weekly chart.
Wait, no, it says 1 day.
So I think this is an improvement because usually when you see people do chart analysis on YouTube, they have they have like lines all over the place. Have you seen one of Michael's TA charts? That is like usually
the BBBY Cube guy.
Yeah.
Where he has like lines everywhere. You can't even tell what the fuck's going on because there's
they're also doing technical analysis on a company's stock that's been canceled.
But like this is the exact opposite. There's like so little going on here. I don't know what we're supposed to glean from it, and the lines are also just kind of weird.
I guess that's why you have to
listen.
listen.
Let's focus just on Open. over the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months. We pushed up to this $5 level, pulled back to the upward trending support line, pushed up to the $10.88 resistance, formed out this bullish pennant or this symmetrical triangle. Broke
Is it really bullish though? Is it really bullish? Is it really bullish? First of all, you're like, if this is your breakthrough point, it broke through.
It broke through and then went down.
Yeah, like it started trying to go up and then it collapsed. Second of all, shouldn't you be redrawing your new line out here to where it should be, which would be out here at your next breakout would again be about 850?
Yeah. Well, let's just.
I mean, redraw your line out here, dude. Anyway,
now we're pushing to the downside. On Friday, we did hold previous support, previous resistance back here from September that split into new support at the $7.30.
Okay, why are we getting these support lines here? Why are you drawing these support lines? What reasoning do you have for these support? I get the resistance line up here. This is the last place it stopped. But why is there a support line here? It clearly broke through at one point. How supporty is this support? Are you just drawing it because of this candle?
No, that one, and then the green one next to the red one, and then that other green one. Yeah, so there's that green one, and then move over to that red one.
This one?
Nope, wrong way, other way.
This one here.
Yep. Nope. The one in the middle. Yep. The green one right next to it.
But it broke through.
The green one right next to it. Right. So it did break
this
through.
This is why I call it astrology. It's like, what's your methodology here? Because there's like I get these points, but it broke through. So how supporty is this support actually? Yeah, like this one here, I guess. But like usually you draw these support lines based on where share purchases accumulate. You know, when I was showing the chart that showed where the buying concentrations were.
Well, the volume profile.
Yeah, for QNTM, when I was talking about where its next support was, that's where you would draw these lines, not based on the fucking chart data.
Right. Yeah, I love a volume profile too, but yeah, he's not using that.
Because smart people will have it here along the side, so you can look at it compared to the. But anyway.
4-cent level. We pulled back almost exactly to this level going into the close and managed a small bounce. So importantly, where do I think open is heading?
$7.16. By the way, $7.
So it broke through that support.
So it did go through that. Oopsie doopsie.
Oopsies. Oopsies. This must have been from a different day then. Or was that after hours where it closed under 7?
Well, no, after hours it went to 7.14.
Okay, so when did
so that's as of October 17th, yeah.
Okay, so what was this?
It opened at 6.95.
Okay, so this was October 11th. Oh, well, that would explain.
Update the open door. I'd like to see straight away next week is to break this pennant, push to the upside, and to break the $10.88 resistance. That'd obviously push us straight onto new highs, straight towards that next $15 resistance.
Why would this be the next resistance? At what did you just pull that number out of your fucking ass?
Yes.
Like, I love technical analysis so much. You can it's like a choose your own adventure novel.
Is this one before? This is before that video. Okay. And then what date was that other one from?
No, this video is from the 11th.
Well, what about the other video? This is a different video.
Oh yeah, it is. So this one actually was. Oh yeah, I accidentally.
That's from the 4th. And then he was wrong.
And for that, we have to look at what kind of sell-off we actually.
Okay, so now we know. Okay, so now we know why the triangle is there because it was from the former video. All right, I'm glad we know that now.
I accidentally.
We spent so much time trying to figure that out.
So now he has to make an excuse for why he's wrong, and that ended up being wrong as Platinum explained.
Yeah, okay. And now, here we go.
Now that's very important. What kind of sell-off did we see? Interestingly, we saw a low volume sell-off. As I mentioned in my previous video, volume on Open Door has been decreasing over the last few weeks, and this sell-off on Friday was no different. There wasn't a huge giant sell-off, it was actually a low volume sell-off. Now, the reason why that's interesting is because if we look at the wider market, we look at the S&P 500, we saw obviously this massive red candle, and it was a high volume sell-off. The highest volume we've seen in a long time, even higher or even more volume than we saw in the August sell-off.
Into the 10.
Now, it's interesting because even though August was a very high volume sell-off, what did we see? Over the next few days after that sell-off, after that gap down, we closed the gap just in a matter of a few days and pushed to new all-time highs. Could we?
Which we did in the normal market. We pretty much closed the gap. I mean...
Well, yeah, because he went back on his shit, the usual.
See the same thing this time round, a big gap down, a big sell-off, followed by a push to new all-time highs over the next week
I see
or
what
two.
he's getting at.
It's very possible, depending on what Trump does over this weekend, next week, and the next after. Does Trump chicken out? Does he taco like usual, or does he keep the...
He did. Spoiler alert. He did. So his argument is we're going to gap back up to here. That didn't happen. All right. I think we've had enough of that.
Yeah, nice try. Maybe next time we'll gap up to 15 for no reason at all. Or not, because now it's 7:14.
And that was a nice Thomas James aside, because usually he's the perpetual, the shorts are always screwed, the hedgies are always screwed guy. Like, he is the biggest broken AMC record. It's nice to hear him talk about other stocks and not be a broken record, because he's really
he's an AMC guy?
Yeah. Yeah, he and Marantz had a dust up, I think, about this time last year, because Marantz doxed him. Actually, what happened was Marantz found his LinkedIn profile and found his not stage name because he was advertising his YouTube channel on his LinkedIn. Oopsies. Yeah, he's an AMC guy. He does talk about other meme stocks, but he's been predominantly an AMC guy. Speaking of AMC guys,
oh God,
number one cuck. So there's been a lot of baggy turmoil around the recent dilution saga, but this is simply here to remind you all that if you're a Project Popcorn loser or if you're a regular AMC baggy, there's no difference in your narratives. The only difference is Adam Aaron an angel sent by God, or is Adam Aaron the spawn of the devil? That is the only difference between Project Popcorn baggies and regular AMC baggies. As you will see here, where he goes on talking about how like all this is just some paid campaign from AMC, and then says that shorts didn't cover. After all, they didn't need to cover because Adam Aaron did a bunch of dilution. Never mind that they covered.
Okay, so he wants people to vote no.
Like it's gonna fucking matter.
Well, first of all, like, say if it did go through and it was a no, has he thought that out?
No, of course not. They never have.
Because we all know what would happen. And that
would be bankrupt.
Chapter 11 for
See
sure.
metamaterials.
Exactly. Like, he is the George Palacaris of AMC right now.
Yeah. We also get a little bit more fun because if we have to talk about AMC, we have to talk about my favorite AMC baggy. Are you guys ready for Nelson Willis returns? Are you aware of the Nelson Willis saga, Ocelot?
Yeah, Ocelot, do you know anything about this?
I think I know some of the lore. I know he's one of those Project Popcorn people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen some, and he's got quite a few pro se cases.
He's got one.
Got one, okay.
Okay, so he had one where to catch you up to speed, catch everyone who's not aware up to speed, Adam Aaron got a bunch of anti-Semitic emails from Nelson Willis during the time of the lawsuit and conversion drama, because Nelson Willis apparently did not get his votes for the shareholder meeting, or they were delivered late or something like that. It's been 2 years. Sorry if I don't remember all the details. So after getting these emails that were obviously concerning, in which he also CC'd Gary Gensler.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Adam Aaron filed for a restraining order both in Kansas and in Texas. When he filed he filed a complaint in Kansas, and then for which Nelson Willis no-showed, obviously. And then he filed for a restraining order in Texas. In the Texas case, they wanted him to appear in court for testimony, and he decided to then withdraw his complaint. There was also, I think, some subpoena sent out, which is the part of the reason for this whole hubbub now. So after he withdrew it and non-suited the case, which you can do, and you don't need approval of the court, you can just non-suit a case at any time before trial. That's how that works. Trust me, I know things. And it's not a trust me, bro. It's a I know lawyers, and I also know court clerks. You can just non-suit a case whenever you want to. So that happened. So Nelson Willis files his own lawsuit where he basically accuses Adam Aaron of emotional distress, false incrimination, and a couple other things, and that was dismissed. He appealed the case to the Fifth Circuit and had a baggy spurg fit after he again lost. That baggy spurg fit has been going on since May, when he was originally denied on his appeal, and he's just kept filing shit. 2 weeks ago, I think the Fifth Circuit finally had enough of his shit and sanctioned him $100.
Yeah, not enough.
Not enough, because he kept filing, as you can see from the 3rd all the way to the 14th. Like, 2 of these filings are Adam Aaron, the rest are him. Then on the 16th, the court finally responds. They sanction him again. They move it up from $100 to $200, and then said that since you continue to keep filing, we're going to make it so you can't file anymore until you pay the $200. And if you have any other frivolous filings that you filed, I'd suggest retracting them, because we will sanction you again if you don't.
Well, they need to up that amount. I mean, $200 is really nothing.
Yeah, but I
Like,
get the
even
feeling they
MJL got sanctioned $2,500.
But again, that was because the estate asked for fees, basically for them having to deal with it. Up to this point, Adam Aaron hasn't asked for legal fees on this. This has just been the court doing sanctions, and they're trying to stop. They don't want to but like you said, I don't think he'll stop until
he's not stopping.
Yeah, he does something. But at least this will be an impairment, because anytime he tries to send something into the clerk's office, they're gonna be like, "Did you pay the $200? If no, bye." And they're
he'll
just gonna
pay it.
round file it.
He'll pay it.
I don't know. He will not pay it. He will not pay it.
What? You don't think so?
No, he will not pay it, because that would mean admission of wrongdoing.
Oh, wow. I think he'll pay it and then have some motion to have Adam Aaron, repay him or something, some random thing.
Time to go to the Supreme Court.
That's what he's been saying he'll do. He thinks he'll get certiorari out of the Supreme Court.
Oh my God.
I think that a lot of these fellows miss that important component that the Supreme Court has to want to hear your case.
They get to pick, and you have to have 4 people on the Supreme Court that give a shit.
Yep. That's funny.
It is great. You know what we haven't had on our show really before?
No. Oh, Frank Nez. Yeah, one of the worst sources of all time.
That baggies keep using. I just brought it up because it was AMC related, but I think we already know the answer to that one. I don't think we need to linger very long.
Oh my God. The funny thing is, when you see off-exchange trading, most of the time you'll see the price actually go up after that. Yeah. Because a lot of the time it's from
buying.
A lot of retail buying, and they end up doing it off-exchange because a lot of the retail brokerages are set up that way, right? And so the price ends up going up after you see that, not down.
We do have some good news for AMC. Apparently, they had a deal with Netflix. So, I don't just produce FUD on this channel. Just so I assume that there'll be.
So, are you bullish for AMC now?
No, no, absolutely not. Let's make that clear. But
isn't this just for this one movie, this K-pop Demon Hunters
We'll start
movie?
this Halloween. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Literally just that.
Okay.
Let's see here. Where were we? Oh, yes. But that isn't the only thing AMC related. Because guess who's having a shitco run? It's Highcroft. Never mind that Highcroft has been on the struggle bus for a long time. Like now, silver is kind of in a position where maybe they can get enough out of the development process. But that's always been the biggest problem with Highcroft, is that it's more expensive than any return they would get from mining the silver because of the extraction process. And this
I
has
was
been
always
chronicled
under
many times.
I was always under the impression too that their mines weren't actually operational.
Yeah, they still are doing discovery probes and stuff like that. And they have to set up some sort of milling facility or something like that, if I remember right from talking to Tony. So that's the reason why at some of these peaks they went out and sold shares. No shit. Being a junior miner sucks. Unless you can extract money from equity. And man, while this silver rally is going on, what a better time to do that than at the top.
It's such a weird investment too for, a movie company to invest into. But it wasn't that like a Mudger Capital.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think everyone knows why that happened.
Yeah.
We also have some amazing levels of cringe to present to all y'all. I know that you.
Oh my God, I did listen to this.
Have been the expert when using, but this is amazingly bad.
It's not good.
The lip sync isn't even like. Okay, now it's better. Now it's closer. What even are we doing, Joey?
Shorts feel the flame. Back in 22, AMC took a stand.
How do you tell it's AI? Just there's so much like flipping and
they tried to cheat. Sharon will call them out. Now they're feeling beat. Shorts are fudge. Shorts are fudge. Shorts are fudge. Shorts fudge fudge. High crops rising, gonna break their game.
Why are we doing it this close and getting like?
Shorts feel the flame. Sprott and Black Rock, they're holding real tight. Gold and silver climbers shining in the light.
No,
Dilutions
no way.
came, but apes kept the cheer. Now in 25, the squeeze is near. Low, dying Gary shouted, shorts, you're through. Silver's flying high, gold's breaking through. Apes are dancing, singing loud with pride. High crops heading up on this wild
There really is. This is like AI slop to the
Shorts
extreme.
are fudge, shorts are fudge, fudge,
What?
fudge, fudge. High crops rising, gonna break their game. MC's on fire, shorts feel the flame. Shorts are fudge, shorts are fudge, shorts are fudge, 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 fudge. High crops rising, gonna break their game. MC's on fire, shorts feel the flame.
Oh
Yikes.
my goodness, that is bad.
I mean, oof.
But we are now to the point where I think Ocelot, you can take over for a bit, because this is one of the scoops that you brought to us as we're heading into the final stretch.
Scoopy scoop.
Yes, we had a response from NASDAQ as to the discovery that was asked of them.
Yeah, it looks like they're moving to quash the subpoenas sent out in the bankruptcy case, which it seems like they made an effort to confer with the trustee and her counsel. And it looks like they provided one of the exhibits is, in fact, they did provide some data to the trustee and her counsel complying with the discovery request. But it looks like they've since moved to completely quash the subpoena.
Yeah, and there was something I had brought up that they did not seem to take too kindly to the idea that they were being used as an example of compliance when they were still in the middle of negotiating the discovery.
Absolutely. And in their initial correspondence, it says that they reserve all rights, as you would typically see in something like that. they reserve all rights to seek to quash it or object on other grounds. So, and that's what they're doing now.
Yeah. So one of them, the big ones they said is that it violates Rule 45, where basically they're like, hey, you're basically trying to do pre-action discovery before there's even a case or any claims or anything. So you're not entitled to discovery under Rule 9016. And they even went further as to go after what others have said on the 2004 discovery, that it's specifically limited to finances
Documents.
dealing with the debtor,
Or not documents,
not
yeah,
anyone
yeah.
else.
Yeah, not the.
Yeah, and go ahead, Platinum.
No, go ahead.
And it doesn't comply with the local rules, which is something that I brought up in the beginning of like, hey,
Well, this
you
was
can't
brought
get
up with the
document
subpoena
requests.
one.
Yeah, I mean the local rules of Nevada explicitly state that you can't get document requests for subpoenas under the 2004 bankruptcy rules. So that was not compliant with the local rules. I mean, this is just a complete shit show.
Yeah. And of course, they're going to bring up that it's overbroad, irrelevant, and burdensome because you have to balance the subpoena with the the party seeking discovery, providing where is it? Yeah, that the party opposing discovery show that the information sought is privileged and unduly burdensome. Yeah. So I mean, this one I liked. Like FINRA had given a whole like dissertation in why they shouldn't get hit discovery. This was a brief 4 pages and pretty concise and to the point. Then again, they don't have some of the like protections that FINRA does, but still, this much easier read and gets right to the point.
So it sounds like they NASDAQ or whatever was kind of mad that they were being used as an example, and that's kind of why they did this. Do you guys? Is that
I don't
true?
think that's
I don't
the
think it was the
reason
whole
why.
But
yeah, I agree.
Like I think a lot of it has to do. They tried to work with it, and they basically did the baggy thing of, well, give us more, we'll give us more, and they're like, how about fucking no? Like, we gave you exactly what we thought was relevant, and you're not getting a cent more. And then I think it was an aggravating factor that they were being used as an example. But I think the main thing is they gave them what they thought was responsible discovery within the rules of 2004 discovery. And then they're like, no, we want more. And NASDAQ finally said, no, you aren't getting more. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Agree. And they pointed this out in their response, or I should say motion to quash, but some of the data that was requested isn't even stuff that NASDAQ has. Like MMTLP was never quoted on the NASDAQ. It was an OTC security.
Yeah.
And MMAT was quoted for, I don't know, I think they say it explicitly in here, but only a portion of the time frame that they're requesting data for. So it's just, I mean, these a lot of these subpoenas seem kind of like copy and paste, like just generically sent out to a bunch of different entities.
Kind of
without
like
any...
the Pulte subpoenas that were sent out to me, Doug, and Amy. They were basically the same stuff to different people.
Yeah, and here it's just, there's no real, I mean, what the NASDAQ does is much different than FINRA or Virtu Financial or Citadel Securities. Like just having these copy and pasted subpoenas without really tailoring them to specifics doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, the judge in the hearing was talking about, do Scott and Danielle have any standing whatsoever to even be arguing anything based on just them having MMTLP shares, right? Meanwhile, like they're looking for Torch in MMTLP in MMAT. Like, what does that have to do with? What does that have to do
because
with
they're the successors of the merger? But as far as the MMTLP stuff, they were the creators of the shares up until they were spun out. So for Torch, they have a right because they're the successor in merger.
But what does that have to do with liquidating the estate and getting money to
That's a great question.
Again, what does securities litigation or securities fraud have anything to do with bankruptcy? I think that's the $1 million question.
Like, that's the
I don't
thing
even
he
know
kept
why we're talking
about.
about this crap because it's,
Yeah.
in my opinion, completely irrelevant of bankruptcy. But I mean, here we are. I
Well,
also
it
had
sounded-
another.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
also had another tweet that talked about some of the financing, and it seems that the trustee has made an application
Yeah.
to employ one of the law firms that's already retained, but part of a litigation funding agreement that was on contingency. But now they will be paying them hourly to go defend these motions to quash, or not defend them, to oppose the motions to quash in the DC District Court. So this will be costing the estate money. And to me, I mean, I wasn't too critical because originally the thesis behind this was that it would be of no cost to the estate, but with a lot of potential upside. But now it seems like it's going to be costing the estate money. And
A lot of money.
yeah, a lot of money.
Which is really crazy because originally, it, like you said, it seemed low risk, but also it didn't seem like Metamaterials had a lot of debts. So maybe if you sold some of these assets, there might be a penny for your thoughts for the shareholders. But
Well,
now
they also
this
talked
is-
about in the hearing, they talked about how they need to, some of the things on the schedule, right? So the schedule of liabilities were not fully correct. So they're going through all of that again, is something that they also brought up in the hearing.
Yeah, Platinum. When they initially filed the petition, we had the schedule, and it didn't seem too bad. But then I want to say over the past few months, it seemed like it's quickly come to revelation that that might not have been a totally accurate reflection of the current claims. And I don't know. At first, like when we first saw the assets and liabilities, I was like, oh, maybe shareholders will see a payout given how low the liabilities are. But now, I don't know. Seems
Yeah, like even with
grim.
the thing where they were like trying to sell the certain of those assets, I think it was like Philipsis or something like that, and they were trying to say like those people had like a $12 million claim or something, and they were saying that they wouldn't, that they could just sell the IP or whatever it was to these people, and then get rid of that claim. And I was like, I didn't even see that claim, right? So where did that even come from? So yeah, it does seem like they're definitely going through that stuff a little
Well, that's
bit more.
also part of like the bankruptcy thing. Usually, sometimes maybe you have a schedule of debtors that was given to you by the former administration. I mean, this is again a Chapter 7, not a Chapter 11. And then as you're sending out these notices, people start showing up at the table that you didn't expect.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess my next question though is, will this motion to quash in the Southern District, which I think will present the same issues that this DC motion to quash is presenting, where they're going to have to get counsel that is licensed to practice in New York to go fight it.
More expenses.
And just more expenses to the estate. And you're not talking a few $100s here. That last law firm was at the minimum over $1,000 an hour. So it will add up quickly.
It's funny that you bring up our good old buddy Scott Trout, because he got a motion to dismiss that I had been expecting for a long time. I'm surprised it took this long. But his motion to transfer was also denied because that it like the big thing in here that I thought was key was this right here, was that where they talk about the effective date January 9th, that the trading was halted and the trade will be canceled on the 13th, is on page 4. In sum, MMTLP shares cease to exist on the 13th. Petitioner's master plan for reinstating MMTLP shares under the ticker MMTRX, whatever, is a 4-page document containing 11 steps, which include requiring a company to adopt a new corporate name and public structure through reincorporation or a reverse merger with a public shell company to facilitate trading, having brokers repopulate eligible shareholders' accounts in those shares, excluding those with insider trading history, and restricting trading to eligible shareholders and short sellers, compelling the closure of 2.65 million unclosed short positions with existing shares. Even if all these steps, which involve a number of different individuals and companies, were implemented perfectly, it is pure speculation to assume petitioner would recoup his financial losses in this opportunity to trade. There can be no accurate prediction as to whether anyone would purchase the shares, or if they did, at what price. The court cannot find that petitioner's alleged injury would likely be redressed by the requested relief he requests, but find it to be at best speculative. A peek into the merits suggests that petitioner lacks standing, and a transfer to the Second Court of Appeals would not be in the interest of justice.
I mean, it's only one step to get the shares trading, and that would be if Nextbridge got accused.
Yep.
It's
But
not
that's
a
like the key. I think the key takeaway from this is that the issue was a matter of standing, and he can't compel the SEC to do anything or to reauthorize a trading ticker. And even if he could, as the court did, there's no proof that that would actually, like, the whole point of if a court has standing is there has to be a claim that can be redressed by the court. And if there is no remedy that a court could grant, you don't have standing.
Yeah. Well, that's also, you know, what the judge was talking about in the hearing was like trying to explain what a Chapter 7 bankruptcy really is, right? He was like, this is just about...
Oh, wait, what hearing?
I listened to the Scott and Danielle hearing.
Oh, okay. I totally missed that. I knew that that was a thing, but I totally missed it. So why don't you go ahead and intercept?
Well, that's what I've been telling you this whole time.
Okay, I've been
what I was
totally
listening
lost on that. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Well, so they presented their argument because they were trying to get West Christian thrown off the case, right?
Mhm.
And Danielle was also trying to get like compelling evidence and trying to get the trustee thrown off the case, which, you know, at the end, he denied the trustee being thrown off the case because he was like, that is the neutral party, right? Because she was like, we need a neutral party, da da da. And he
Yeah,
was
but
like,
that's how the bankruptcy structure works. Yeah.
that's the trustee already.
Even in a
and then-
Chapter 11, the trustee is the neutral party acting on behalf
Right.
of.
Exactly. He said he denied disclosing, you know, evidence, obviously, right? And then he said he will get back to them within a couple weeks about the whole West Christian thing and if he is conflicted. And also he kept bringing up what the bankruptcy is about. Like, this is just about liquidating assets and getting creditors paid.
Yeah.
Right. But has he seen all these subpoenas going out to FINRA and stuff? Like, what the fuck?
Well, he's a new
That's not
judge, so
liquidating
I mean, like, he
assets.
has to have had read up on the case, but
He's
he might
catching
not
up
be
still. I mean, that docket
aware.
is slammed. Like,
Thick.
that thing has...
Well, that's a bankruptcy docket, as we've seen. But, like, yeah, he doesn't.
This is a different one. Like, it's force of interest. It's like, you don't usually see that. Like, why can't they just get the names from Broadridge or something? You know what I mean? Like, why do they... Whatever.
Why do the shareholders have to manually?
Yeah, like, that's weird. And he said...
Usually you have a list of the shareholders based on direct registry and then the brokerages that
and then,
are...
well, Broadridge will, like, give you all the things. But yeah, so he was explaining like what a bankruptcy is. And, you know, he said, obviously he's new to the case and it was first hearing and like he's still catching up with everything, but he listened to them, everything that they had to say. He was very interested to hear their whole entire arguments, both of them. I feel like, you know,
I found most of these bankruptcy judges more than most judges have been. Yeah, because they're dealing with circumstances. And now I know in this case, these are corporate bankruptcy judges. And I wonder how many of them have to deal with personal bankruptcies, because all bankruptcies are federal level cases.
Yeah, they're definitely doing both.
You
They're
filing
doing consumer
bankruptcy or a
and
company.
corporate.
So I find that a lot of these judges, more so than most federal judges, are like, you know, I'll at least hear you out. You're probably wrong, and I'll explain to you why you're wrong, but I'm going to at least, you know.
Well, Scott did start off, he came in hot and he was like,
oh, I bet, because that's what Scott does. He comes out.
Yeah, like he talks exactly how he writes.
I can believe it.
And so he was like, he's like, you know, I'm here to bring integrity into this. And the judge like stopped him right away. And he's like, well, hold on. Yeah, he was like, let's just leave out all the rhetoric and just stick to, you know, facts. And so after that, you know, Scott got into just the facts and it was good. And then he was super nice to Danielle too and heard them all out.
Well, Danielle, for the most part, is pretty nice. So
oh, she's super nice, yeah. And yeah, I watched it on Zoom. And what else? I mean, he was like asking them. They were trying to explain MMTLP, which, you know, Scott got into like.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. You already know.
Like
The
even
whole-
if you get to like the nicest, most concise, like I've tried to explain that to people on Jimmy Meltdown, and the best I can concise it down to is a few paragraphs. Like this is not a easy transaction to explain.
Yeah, Scott was getting into the whole.
Still some parts I don't understand.
Right, like it wasn't supposed to trade, which, I mean, I think me and Ocelot kind of agree. Like it actually probably wasn't supposed to trade.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, but there are some things with the registration that I'm really not entirely
I'm
clear
kind of the
on.
opinion that it was like backdoor,
Well,
maybe designed to trade because you wouldn't securitize it in the first place.
Well, it should have had like a 6-month lockup, if so,
I
right?
don't know if that's true, though.
Oh,
I
maybe
mean, it's
not.
incredibly complicated, but I think that I think what they did was they issued the shares as a pro rata dividend prior to the merger being effectuated. And I think that since it was pro rata for no consideration to all shareholders, it made it so that, I mean, it was more or less a dividend, which, as we all know, dividends don't have to be registered with the commission.
Well, it was a
So
fixed income security, technically, right? So
I think that's just how I think that's just
made it a
how
little different.
the brokers classified it, but I don't think that that's how it actually was. I mean, it was a preferred stock, but
Right.
it was given as a more or less a dividend because again, there was no consideration paid for this. No shareholder was giving cash in exchange for this dividend. So I think that that's initially how it was exempt from registration, but the whole process after that of like, oh shit, there's a merger subsequently, and then it shows up trading on the OTC. That's where I'm just not clear. I think it's a really, really complicated question that I don't think anyone's really entirely answered, to be honest.
Yeah, all
I
we
don't think
know.
we'll know until the SEC does its second
Well,
case.
we did see on NextBridge's 10K that, I mean, obviously, but it said that MMTLP, 2 MMTLP shareholders had a transaction, and that's how it started trading. But like, how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think those are the questions.
I got a good idea.
Hey, Jay Brown. It was Jay Brown.
But we do have a few other MMTLP stuff to kind of go over quickly. First was just real quick.
Oh, so we'll get the answer in a couple weeks, by the way, about the whole removing West Christian. Also, one quick question before I forget. They mentioned in so Lovato's thing that she was doing with, you know, going to pay those lawyers, blah, blah, an unforeseen circumstance or something like that happened. What does that mean? Do we know?
Oh, that was what was so funny about it. The trustee was saying an unforeseen circumstance. In the unforeseen circumstance was FINRA filing their motion to quash amongst the other parties. Like, I don't know how you couldn't anticipate that,
What?
but apparently that was unforeseen.
Okay.
I could have seen that coming blindfolded.
Yeah, I mean, like,
that's why
hey,
I
we're
couldn't
gonna
figure it out.
ask
I'm
this
like,
quasi-government entity for a bunch of proprietary data
Yeah.
amongst a bunch of other entities. Like, hey, who would think that they would go and seek to quash this information from getting to the
They've
public?
literally quashed every lawsuit and subpoena against them from this
Okay.
community. Like, you didn't see this coming.
That makes it even funnier. I didn't realize that's what
My jaw hit the ground when I read that. Like, are you
Okay, because I
kidding
thought
me?
you knew some sort of inside information. I was like, wait, what is it? That's funny.
But yeah, so this one's just really quick on the motion for leave to file a SIR reply from Danielle Spears. That was denied. Then we had the order on motion for protective order, which was really weird because this also had the motion to dismiss in it. So there was a motion to stay discovery and denies plaintiff's motion for discovery. Okay, this is the different one. Maybe it was this other one here. Motion to amend or correct. Yeah, this is it. Third amended complaint. There's a lot of different lawsuits, so I may be mixing them. So the leave to amend for, how do you pronounce that? Peace,
I guess.
Peace.
That's how I
that
say
was
it.
denied. And then, okay, this is this one was the motion for excess. Oh, excess spaces. But this is the one that I think had all the blended stuff in it. So the leave to file serve reply was denied.
Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah, I'm trying to work on it here.
Thank you.
So, okay. Motion for leave to file serve reply was denied. Protective order to stay discovery was granted. The motion to dismiss was granted. Motion for preliminary injunction was denied. And motion for protective for judicial notice and motion for protective order staying discovery are denied. But Kelly is allowed to file an amended complaint against FINRA.
I mean, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Kelly
Yes.
lawsuit? Yeah, I was just going to mention that. Yeah, I did see that today. This is a really slightly separate topic, but the writing for this is really weird. I've never seen a judge write like this. He says, like, I further order, just like the writing style is really unique.
Well, I'm pretty used to this. Like, usually in a conclusion, I order is that is kind of
No, go up further though. Just like read some of the way he writes. It's unique, not wrong or bad or anything. Just I've never seen it styled like that. I find things like that.
Usually it's like a
this
third
court
from second or third, not first. But okay, sure. I mean, you're the boss, you're the judge, you write it however you want to, but yeah, first person is usually not how they write stuff.
Yeah, agree.
So what is with this? I just happened to catch it.
Oh my god. Did you watch it?
Let's watch it. Let's
listen to the end though. It's the best part. Oh no, not this. No. He has John Berta talking.
Yeah, it is in this here, isn't it?
You want to go to what I quote tweeted?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Play that.
This will be like the first time I've ever seen John Berta live in the flesh. Is that him?
Long story short, this is, if I were to tell you the entire story.
Well, I mean, I've seen his photos, but this is like the first time I've seen him speak.
CEO of a publicly traded oil and gas company. My first experience of the
what is he doing in
luxury
camo?
that goes on in our capital markets
That's
happened in
a good question.
2014 when I found out that shares that were reported
Forge brag.
Going
offshore and no longer counted
fix this.
under the U.S. system. So what that means in a nutshell is that our system is designed to only protect institutions and not individual investors because they're not giving us the whole picture.
Maybe recently in the past 10 months, but usually it's the other way around. But okay, sure.
Transparency of what's going on in the market. So that was my first experience. It only got worse from there. So fast forward to 2020 when COVID hit and oil was negative $37. Our board of directors decided we needed to take a different path. And so we decided to merge with a tech company out of Canada. And we did all the proper paperwork.
Is he just doing all the whole background story? Where do we get to the point that's...
You can just fast forward it. Let's
The
see how
end
long
is
this
funny.
Yeah, go to keep going.
It's 4 minutes something.
Yeah, we'll just go right there. Yeah, that's good.
The two CEOs of the company. And they basically said we orchestrated the whole thing and we tried to cause a short squeeze and we have FOIAs on that as well that they were.
I mean, you did.
That's what the baggies do though. They try and make it as if the charges are just because the executives wanted a short squeeze or try to drive one. No, the charges are that there were material misstatements surrounding many things, including the value of the oil and gas properties. Not just that this short squeeze was attempted to be orchestrated. That's not the basis.
Which is
for the
still
charges.
market manipulation that you tried to
agree.
Mm-hmm. Like it's one thing if a short squeeze happens naturally from market participants making a decision, but when you're trying to engineer it willfully and then also lying about, like you said, basic facts about the company and its assets to engineer that short squeeze. That's called market manipulation. That's called material misstatements of fact.
Yeah, when you're telling people to buy it because you plan to sell it when you had really no intention to actually sell it, and you were already paying those executives $20,000 a month.
Because you anticipated a spin out and they were going to be executives in the new company.
Exactly. Then
Yeah,
it's
again, that's the basis for the charges, not this short
Right.
squeeze. That was ancillary.
Yep.
That was the pump the pump to lead to the dump that they did, that was being accused of when they sold all those shares.
Mm-hmm.
Working with Congress, working with Ralph Norman's office on that aspect as well. So long and short of it, our SEC, our financial markets are a complete crock. And do you have your money in the stock market?
Oh, this is where it's good.
Gosh, I know
Maybe
so much,
slow it
it'll
down.
take me hours to tell you, but it's really disgruntling, and it's really a shame the way our markets are run. And hopefully someday we'll get past it. But with Rob helping us out, you've done great things for us.
He's done what for you guys? What?
Podcast. Hello. Did you not see the podcast?
No, you guys have done more for him. This dude
Yeah.
struggles to get more views than I do, unless you
That's-
guys are there watching. You've done more for him than he has ever done for anybody, other than his own ego.
I'm here tonight. I'm a Missourian. Ben Wagner's my rep. No help whatsoever. I haven't hidden from anything. I have done nothing wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And so, thankfully, I have D&O insurance.
That's the funny part.
Thank you for the company paying my bills.
Yeah. Isn't that great? I didn't even realize that he's like, I watched the whole thing and I would, well, I didn't watch it. I was just listening and I didn't even realize he said that, but I saw that Ocelot had like quoted him and I was like, no, he didn't say that. So then I watched it back. I was like, oh my God, he didn't say that. It was so funny.
Woo! Amazing.
I, of course, tagged bag holder quotes. I thought that was very fitting.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. I'm awaiting that. That has. Did you know that I'm currently being followed by bag holder quotes now?
Ooh,
Bag holder quotes follows me too.
Ooh,
Amazing.
fancy.
Oh my goodness. So then, of course, there was.
Oh
this
wait, they follow
level's-
me too.
Amazing.
I just looked.
We know all the good stuff.
I actually just reached for the button, like on the spaces, to do the hand emoji, like the fist on the space calls. But I realized we're not in a space call.
So this is the last thing before we get to stupid tweet of the week. This is kind of a great lead-in for stupid tweet of the week, as Ocelot pointed out in the comments.
God, this is so funny.
Which,
how many times have you written that?
I have pointed
Hundreds.
out that
Yeah.
a lot of these district courts have been kind of copy and pasting what other courts have said because, I mean, it's just the facts of the situation. And so I get what they're saying when they're saying that.
Create precedent of failure. What?
I mean, that they kind of have been doing that, but like Ocelot also says, it's not binding. A district court can ignore another district court and find a decision.
The same district
appellate
court
courts.
can ignore itself, its previous rulings. I think that what gets past them though is that district courts are completely controlled by both the circuit court and the circuit that they are in, and the Supreme Court. So they really have to follow the law. There isn't really a lot of room for discretion there. Like a circuit court, on the contrary, though, they can kind of create law more or less. But district
Well,
courts don't
common
really
law,
have that.
that is precedent.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how they create law. District courts can't really do that. They're really bound to what the circuit courts have to say.
And the reason why, like you said, even that district courts sometimes might contradict themselves is that district courts are finders of fact. So the facts may be different, even if the outcome, might seem the same. it might seem that the fact patterns are the same. There might be different things. So like you said, you might get a situation where in one case in a fact pattern that's somewhat similar to another one, you get different outcomes because the facts are different. But you also, like you said, like precedent, also known as, common law, is the creation of laws based on, those different fact patterns leading to how courts interpret the law, is set by appellate courts like the Supreme Court or the circuit courts. That's not done by district courts.
In here, in the context of MMTLP, you just have such strong precedent out of the, I think specifically the Second Circuit, which is New York, Vermont, and I think Massachusetts and maybe one other state. But you have such strong precedent saying that FINRA is absolutely
immune
from any suit you can possibly bring,
Isn't
even
that
if you allege
Sparta
fraud.
That's the one they like pulling out, the Sparta surgical one.
Is that the case?
I think it is.
Yeah, I just know that it's a Second Circuit case. And even if you are suing outside of the Second Circuit, pretty much any district court in the country is going to, well, let's see what the Second Circuit has to say about this. And that's just the controlling law, that even if it's not binding in the circuit, they're going to look over there and be like, that's pretty damn persuasive.
Yeah. So I think I've settled on what I want to do for Stupid Tweet. There were two really good competitors from, well, do I want to? We'll pull them both over here for now. So I'll let you guys go. Maybe I'll be able to make up my mind between these two. So what do you guys got for Stupid Tweet of the week?
Let me get it.
You got one, Ocelot, ready for us? You can just send me the link in a DM on.
Okay, I will do that now. Yeah. I hope mine doesn't qualify as last week's, but I will give it a good effort.
Well, you're a guest. We'll leave some flexibility, including you can pick people who are on our banned list.
Yeah, which would be
Oh, I didn't know there was a banned list.
Well, there's not really.
But there's a list of people that they're so dumb you just can't pick them anymore. Kevin Malone, BAM Investor,
PP Seeds.
That's here. There's Michael is on the banned list, but there's people that are just it's just too easy. You could pick a tweet from them every day of the week and probably win.
Okay, so full disclosure, my tweet is in violation of the rules. But I sent it to you anyway.
I knew this was coming. Okay, we're gonna roll with it.
Show me.
We're gonna go with his first because I'm all about it.
That's a good one.
But you also need to the full context is I quote tweeted my own tweet, and you need to go to that to really have a full.
Oof.
It's even lower.
Oh my god, he says oof.
It's even lower than that now, which is hilarious.
Ugh.
Oh,
and then he went dark for the week. Don't forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
Convenient.
Now we'll go.
Because Twitter chills or something. Okay, so mine. Let me try to read this for you guys. GME will never have price discovery until it relists on the blockchain securities exchange. But first, BYQ must return and merge for GME to soar. 271 likes. And this was this morning.
All right, 1 second here. I forgot to set it up.
What, do you have an assistant sending you stupid tweets? What's going on here?
No, I was having to set up the poll on YouTube. I forgot to set that up. See.
Oh, the poll. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get mine up
Ocelot's
here.
definitely gonna win.
So I have one that's really close here. We got Baggy Spence.
Oh my God.
As soon as Ryan Cohen announces stock buybacks, GameStop is $35 all day.
I mean, what else would they do with money that they got from selling stock? But
Look, so basic stock market things here, folks. So if you're doing a buyback, so yeah, sure, you're buying back shares, you're reducing the number of shares, which, first of all, why would Ryan Cohen do that? He's proven that every time the stock goes above fair value, he is selling them shares. But
exactly.
All right. So what would happen to the value of GameStop if you're doing a buyback?
Well, gee, the assets would go down, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because you're taking cash off the balance sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone, time to get your votes in. If you are on the Twitter or the Twitch or the Rumble side, unfortunately, I can't do polls, or at least I don't know how to do them on those, or it doesn't make it easily available. So you got to do voice vote. But on the YouTube side, you can vote in the poll. We will take that. We do have one little trick trade, Ocelot, and that is that all of our Twitch votes are ape votes. So if there's a tiebreaker, the Twitch vote breaks the tiebreaker.
The Twitch votes are rigged.
Yes. They're always rigged. Rigged for victory. All right. So as we wrap up and get these votes in, any final thoughts, Ocelot, on the week of trading in meme stocks and all this stuff that we've talked about tonight? Or looking forward even?
I don't think so. I mean, it never fails to give content, even in stocks that don't trade.
We've had this discussion before where, like, at the end of the show, we're like, I stare at Sunday or Monday. It's like, how am I going to have content for show next week? And then the good Lord giveth. Platinum, anything that you're looking forward to next week, or anything that's going on, or any final thoughts?
Not really.
Not really? Okay.
No.
Well, we will close up shop on the voting. Ocelot got the YouTube vote. I got the Twitch vote, which means victory is mine. I'm so glad I didn't go with the one thing that I had mentioned earlier about the guy who's saying that 401ks is a scam, and went with just baggy nonsense, because it never fails to win.
But that was also Kevin Malone's baggy nonsense.
No, that was Spence.
No, but that was Kevin Malone's. Remember, he said he sent the letter.
Because Spence never has original ideas.
Oh, this is a reverse. No. Remember, he said, oh my God, it was even worse though. Remember, he said that they could just buy it and like swing trade their stock.
Yes, it was even more baggy than I could comprehend, because I thought it was like the GNS thing where it's like, oh no, he's just gonna buybacks at the bottom and sells at the top and all this stuff, and like, no, it's even dumber. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, Kevin was trying to say that GameStop could hold GME shares on their balance sheet and just sell them into the market when it pops. Like, dude, what? How did you pass these tests?
Anyway, I will, unlike this week, I will try to do the X-Files thing that I've been doing, following all these new X lawsuits that are out there on Pacer. I'm trying to pace myself because my Pacer bill last quarter was kind of bad.
Oof.
Over $200.
Oh my.
And so we got that. We also, for Halloween, we've got our gaming night that we're going to do again, like we did last year, playing Left 4 Dead, Phasmophobia, Witch It, and others if we so desire. But mainly we're trying to keep it Halloween themed, so that's why those three off the top.
Yep.
So Ocelot, if you do want to join us for that, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. What date is that?
That is Friday, October 31st, Halloween.
Oh, Halloween day. Maybe I will.
I know I will costume up like I did last year, but if you want to, Platinum, or if you want to change your icon to be more Halloween-y.
Maybe I will replace my cat head with a pumpkin head.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's what plans that we have for the month of October. We'll see where things go from there. But for now, we are going to enjoy the rest of our weekend, and I hope you do as well. Catch you next Saturday.